reaction too, or this morning, whenever this reaction gets posted. Anyway. Tonight we are gonna be doing a reaction to the brand new StyleTheory reaction, and welcome to my live stream reaction. Another live stream reaction for tonight, and this will be for the newest StyleTheory video. And this one will be how to make 2026 your glow appeal. This is a 2+ hour marathon. So without further ado, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you want us to track next. 3, 2, 1. Hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload person glow one day then bulldogs. Now 3, 2, 1, let's see and find out what this will be about. And Lego.
New year, new you. At least that's what everyone says. But how do
Yeah, that's true.
you actually do it? Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory, the show that's about to give you a step-by-step guide on how to make next year your best year. From knowing what clothes fit your body shape or what glasses will be the most flattering to your face, to how to shave your legs to get the best results, or make sure that your hair is perfect whether it's curly, straight, or coily. This
Yeah.
is Style Theory 101. So sit back, grab a snack and your beverage of choice, and prepare to learn how to perfect your style. What shape is your body? There are hundreds of tests out there claiming that they can tell you. Kibbe, Fruits, and yes, even your Myers-Briggs test think they know how to dress you. They say that if you follow their advice, you will know the perfect way to dress based on your results. Well, today we are going to test out 9 different body shape systems and put them through the ringer to see if they actually work or if these tests are just plain bananas. Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory, the show that's in love with the shape of you. Speaking of shapes, this episode is
That's technically no
shaping up to be a big one. Today, we are dipping our fashion toes into the ever-intimidating world of dressing for your body shape. If you don't know what I'm talking about, have you ever heard someone say something like, oh, you're pear-shaped, so you need to accentuate your top half and just kind of slim down your waist. But if you're an inverted triangle, that means you can't wear green on days that end with Y. Yeah, if I'm being honest, all of that sounds a little sus. And the thing is, there's not one
It kinda does.
definite answer. In fact, there's hundreds of people out there with their own systems that all claim to be the best one on the market. Find out your Kibbe type now. Learn how to dress for your somatotype. What VeggieTales character most resembles your figure. FYI, if I'm not the cucumber, I will riot. The advice out there is as numerous as it is uncomfortable. And speaking of uncomfortable, I know analyzing your body in excruciating detail can be, well, excruciating.
Yeah.
There are plenty of parts of my body that I'd rather not put out there on the internet because for me, they make me feel very self-conscious. I've gone through and still going through a big journey of self-confidence when it comes to loving my body. And part of that is doing an episode like this, where I let my body take center stage so that you theorists get to learn something that may change the way that you look at your own body and your clothes. And so I compiled a list of 9 of the most common body shape systems, and I'm going to try each and every last one of them. I'll be poking, prodding, and measuring every square inch of my body in order to see which of these tests actually provide good advice, or if they're all just preying on our insecurities to make a quick buck. So
That's true.
get your measuring tapes ready, theorists, because we're about to learn how to dress for your unique body yada 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 yada. We are going to divide our 9 systems into 3 different categories. We have our Kibbe style systems, our shape matching systems, and our personality driven systems. Yes, apparently dressing for your body type could be determined by your personality. It's a little wild, so I suggest sticking around for that part. We are going to go through each category to compare our results and see what advice works and what advice should be returned to the store for a full refund. And yes, I do mean we. I've invited a second member of Team Theorist to take these tests with me. And to get both sides of the story, I invited a little help from Food Theory host Santi.
Hello.
I'm Stephanie, actor and Walmart Plus member. I'm her body double. I have Prime. Ow! I poked you. With Walmart Plus, I get free same-day delivery on all kinds of stuff. Wait, what? Even groceries
being on Style Theory. Are you ready to put your body on display for all of the internet to see and make opinions about?
Is it too late to leave?
Yes, I locked the doors when you came in.
Then yes!
You see, while I represent our more femme-presenting audience, I didn't want to leave our masculine friends out of the party. When I started researching for this episode, I was surprised how little body shape advice there was out there for men, masc-presenting people, and everyone not looking to dress femme. What's the deal? That is a huge part of the world being left out. And so today, we are going to see if these tests can translate across the fashion divide and help everyone. And it's all thanks to Santi. So let's leave him a yellow heart in the comments to thank him for his participation. So Santi, what do you think your body type is?
It's not something I've ever really thought about. Yeah, I just go and buy clothes. I rarely even go into fitting rooms. I'm just like, that shirt, sure, and then if it fits, it fits.
So what would you say that you usually look for in some kind of fit?
Typically comes to fairly loose fitting clothes. For me, I want to try and highlight certain features and hide others, and typically tighter fitting clothes, it's harder.
And so when you think about what you want to emphasize, what do you usually try to hide versus show off?
It comes down to showing off these guns. Typically, I do tend to
Interesting.
show off kind of my upper body, I guess,
Okay.
and my torso, just because it is something I'm self-conscious about. But hey, we're putting it out there for the internet to see.
You know what
That's true.
I find interesting is that we actually like to show off the same kind of things. The guns. Look at that. But honestly, what I'm talking about is my shoulders. I like to emphasize these to really bring in my waist. But today, we are putting it all on display in 9 different tests to see what the good advice is, the bad advice is, and everything in between. If you've ever gone deep down the rabbit hole of body shape systems, you've no doubt tripped over Kibbe. And it's not just a new fad either. People have been identifying themselves using the Kibbe system since the 1980s. It was invented by the New York fashion stylist
Okay.
David
Nice.
Kibbe in his 1987 book, Metamorphosis. Discover your image identity and dazzle as only you can. Now that is a title worthy of a 2005 Panic at the Disco song if I ever heard one. And before we
Yeah. Makes sense.
start, I need to point out that while technically Kibbe doesn't call his body categories body types or body shapes, but rather image identities, we're going to keep using the terms body type and body shape throughout the episode for less confusion. According to Kibbe, all bodies exist on a yin-yang spectrum. The yin side of that spectrum is for your more traditional feminine features, which Kibbe defines as bodies that are shorter, softer, and rounder. Marilyn Monroe is usually the poster child for your pure yin body type. On the other end of the spectrum is yang, or your more masculine features. Those who are taller with more sharp and angular features, someone like Kate Blanchett. And another thing to note, unlike a lot of other body systems, Kibbe's types are not based on body weight. There are people of all sizes in each category. The Kibbe system focuses on more unchanging features like bone structure, height, hand and foot size, etc. And to find where you fall on that spectrum, Kibbe has a very intense 16-question quiz that will sort you into one of its 13 different body types. For this quiz, Kibbe actually recommends that you take a photo of yourself at chest level in a neutral position, wearing as few layers as possible, i.e. a bathing suit or underwear. But since Santi and I need to remain monetization friendly on this channel, we went with some basic body hugging clothing for
That's lame. I'm just kidding.
our face outfit. Kibbe also recommends getting a loved one to help you be more objective with your answers. But today I just have Santi, so we all work with what we've got. And oh boy,
Yeah, that's true.
this test was very thorough. Have you ever had to figure out if you appear tall? Not if you are actually tall, but if you appear tall to other people. Basically, if someone has said, I thought you'd be taller, it means that your vertical line, as Kibbe calls it, is tall. Here, let's take a look at me as an example. How tall would you guess I am? Am I tall? Am I short? Most of the time, people tell me I give off tall energy, but in reality, I'm about 5'5" and a half, 5'6" on a good day if I've stretched. Santi also said he had a tall vertical line, but not everything in the Kibbe test is so wholesome. I have never heard the word fleshy so much in such a short span of time. Ugh. It's like the word moist. It just feels wrong. But Kibby needed to know if my arms, my legs, my face, and yes, my stomach were slim or fleshy. And while I have lost some of the cherub cheeks of my youth, I am still a fairly fleshy lady. Santi was less fleshy, but his broader build meant his results, unsurprisingly, skewed more masculine or yang. So I ended up riding the line between two different categories, soft gammy and romantic, while Santi came out as classic. And to put the advice that they gave us to the test, we both put together our own Kibby outfits. First, I tried on my more romantic side, which wanted me to focus on more flowing, lightweight fabrics, delicate colors, floral prints, and it wanted me to accentuate my waist. Because as a romantic, creating a waist was a big deal. It felt like it checked off everything on their list. Then I tried on my soft gamine outfit, which was very different from the romantic. This one wanted me to mix rounded lines with sharp corners and edges, hence the sharp shoulder pads and lapel. And it was able to hold its own shape. Another recommendation from Kibby. The waistline cutout also helped check off another need for a soft gamine look, waist emphasis. Yes, both types told me to accentuate the waist, though for different reasons. Romantics typically have a very narrow waist, meaning that if their clothes don't show it off, they can appear very boxy and shapeless, which, let me just say, is a style I actually really like. Billie Eilish is a modern romantic who tends to go against her type's normal rules and look good doing it. Soft gamines, on the other hand, have a
Yeah.
very low bust to hip to waist ratio. So the waist emphasis here helps create the illusion of a waist where there was none. Santi, with his classic classification, was advised to lean into symmetrical prints, like the one you see on his shirt here, and to wear softer flowing fabrics in classic cuts to strike a balance between hard and soft lines. And he was also told to try and slightly emphasize his waist without breaking up his full silhouette. But how did we actually like the outfits we put together from this advice? This is my soft gammy, which apparently gammy means mischievous street urchin, which is totally the vibe I'm giving off in this outfit.
I mean, it's how I describe you to people when, like, if they don't know you and I have to say, like, who you are, street urchin.
That's fair. I actually like the really bold patterns, and it also has the cutouts that they say will help emphasize my waist. So it really met all the criteria for this outfit. The romantic was not quite my color scheme. I'm not super into like full pastel, really soft colors. It tends to wash me out, though I do love a nice little bit of flowy nature. Speaking of, your shirt. It's very flowy.
Right? This is a departure for me. I landed kind of squarely in the classic category. It makes sense. I tend to gravitate towards more classic looks. The results did say to emphasize straight lines and symmetry, so I figured this would be a good kind of example of that while keeping big exaggerated shapes to a minimum.
The way that this symmetry works and the straight lines help draw you in, this is actually a great shirt for that.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Like, I tend to think of myself as like thick, so it's nice to kind of help have that form, and the vertical line I feel like helps with that, but it's also just nice and flowy and lightweight.
I feel like this shirt was actually tighter than your first shirt that you came in at. And it really does like hug you in a different way that I feel like is slightly more flattering than your actual t-shirt that you were wearing before. And this shirt had one other key feature that was really working for Santi, the hemline. Where his previous t-shirt hit lower and had a straight hem, this one curved up at his hips, hanging lower in the front and the back. This helped give him the appearance of being taller by elongating his legs. And then Santi made a keen observation
Okay.
about my outfit.
Those bananas?
Yeah, they're bananas. Food theory. I was trying to make you feel at home on this channel by bringing in the food.
Well, I appreciate it. It's almost like I'm at home.
So while the test was definitely intense and not a little bit invasive, when we finally got down to the advice, Santi and I were pretty happy with the results. But while Kibby might be the main name in the space, he is not the only one. Fashion professor Harriet McJimsey and stylist John Kitchener each have their own system that use the yin-yang spectrum. And hey, before you go accusing them of plagiarism, in the case of McJimsey, her book actually came first. And if we're really being fair, none of these people invented these terms. They're terms that the fashion industry has used for years. And many of the body type names themselves, like ingenue and gamine, just come from different French words that were used to describe different types of women. I'm not sure I exactly love that for womankind, but, that might just be the street urchin in me. But while these systems use a lot of the same language, not all of them will give us the same answer. Yes, I once again fell between gamine and romantic, and in turn my advice was pretty much the same. So this time I decided to marry the two into one outfit. Similar to Kibby, I pulled in the more flowy aspect of my romantic side, but really dived into that street urchin life with the skull motif on the dress. But hey, it still had florals. It was a marriage of romance and death. How Shakespearean of me. But Santi ended up in a
Okay,
completely
interesting.
different category, athletic, a category that Kibby did not even offer. The athletic type focused on a broader structure, shoulders, head shape, and facial features, with a more relaxed posture, which did align with Santi's self-proclaimed thick nature. However, instead of flowing, symmetrical outfits, it told him to lean into informal, less fitting clothes with an emphasis on heavier fabrics. And though it was a flattering outfit, it hid most of Santi's favorite features, including his massive guns. Nor did it help him appear taller. So this outfit came up a bit short when compared to Kibby. But there is one more test in this Kibby-like bucket that we wanted to hit. John Kitchener's body essence. Now, normally a session with John will cost you around $325 a person, but that didn't fit into our episode budget, so we used an online guide to his method for our test. And the results were...
Show me how to make thunder.
Critics are raving about Avatar Fire and Ash. It's the #1 movie in the world 2 weeks in a row.
Come on, let's go.
It's the best Avatar yet. A movie unlike any other. Truly epic cinema. Avatar Fire and Ash. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Let's restock my guest bathroom. I'm partnering with Secret to make my guests a whole holiday scent bar. They just launched their new limited edition holiday collection. Everyone always gets so excited to stay over because I always leave my bathroom stocked with products they can actually take home. So I thought it'd be fun to add these deodorants. Not only do they smell amazing, they keep you fresh and confident for up to 72 hours. I'm gonna use this acrylic card. First, champagne blush. This one smells sweet and fruity. It's so yummy. Next, fireside fir. This one smells like a crisp winter morning. Spoonful of sugar. Literally smells like a fresh baked cookie. If I had a comfort scent, it'd be this one. Lastly, visions of sugar plum. Imagine vanilla frosting with a hint of berries. This is so cute. I hope they like it. I'm already gonna build a bag for myself. I grabbed all 4, but you need to go and grab yours while they're still out. Thank you again, Secret. I love you. Bye.
Santi fell between two familiar categories, classic and neutral. And so this time he tried his hand at mixing the two, pairing a tapered jacket with a slim-fitted long-sleeve polo. This jacket helped him highlight his favorite features much better than the McJimsy outfit did. But compared to the outfit he wore for Kibby, it felt like the broad shoulders he was so proud of were getting lost. As for me, I once again fell between two categories, with my major being dramatic and my minor being romantic. A romantic cusper, if you will. So I paired the dramatic structured pants with this high contrast pattern jacket based on the guide's recommendations. The jacket actually helped serve both categories, as the peplum bottom brought a romantic flair to the outfit, as did the vibrant red of the shirt. But was I in love with it? Well, separately, yes. I love all the pieces, and it was definitely a dramatic statement, especially when you compare it to Santi's outfit. But altogether, I did feel a little bit like a live-action Cruella cosplayer who just happened to lose her wig. And I felt that the pants and the peplum together just made me appear shorter. Overall, while it wasn't meant to be a competition, I have to give this round to Kibby. Though the quiz was exhausting, it did give us the best overall results. But will data win the entire episode, or will our next round prove to be more fruitful? Now, while the Kibby-like systems are among the most beloved, they are also the most complicated. But from here on out, the systems end up being a lot easier to handle, but the real question is simpler actually any better? This is our shape test category. First up, we are trying out what is most often referred to as the fruit system, since most of the types are named after things like pears and apples. This is the first system we're looking at today that had a version for both men and women. Not only were the shapes that you could be in each test completely different, only the female test required us to pull out a tape measurer. Yeah, Santi got to sit back and relax while I had to calculate the ratio of my shoulders, bust, waist, and hips. Seems totally fair to me, but all that would be worth it once we finally figured out what delicious fruits we were. And I got my favorite fruit, the rectangle. What? I can't even be a fruit in the fruit system after all that work? That is so not fair. What did Santi get? A trapezoid? We both just did a fruit test and both of us ended up as geometric shapes? Well, this geometry problem was certainly pushing Santi out of his comfort zone. For Santi's trapezoidal shape, the guides online recommended he avoid anything baggy at all costs, which eliminated a huge part of his wardrobe. Instead, they emphasized fit, fit, fit. Though, like Kibbe, they also suggested trying a vertical stripe to help him appear taller. And once again, it worked. The tighter fit helped to emphasize Santi's shoulders, while the untucked shirt kept him from looking, how did you put that, Santi?
Thick.
And once again, that curved hemline helped elongate his legs and make him look taller. Check, check, and check for all of Santi's personal goals. Then you had me. I was told once again to emphasize my waist to break up the rectangle. Now, I love my waist, but I was starting to feel like I was being put into this box when it came to the advice I was getting, while Santi was getting a lot of different options to try out. Yet, I had to admit that the outfit I put together for this one was one of my favorites. The dress had ruffles at the hip to add volume and counteract the elastic at the waist, just like they suggested. And it gave me the illusion of having a smaller waist. They also said to use structure, prints, and texture to create visual interest. And this dress did all of that. The ribbon especially helped draw the eye away from the areas I wanted to de-emphasize and to the areas I wanted to highlight, like my shoulders. All in all, I was happy with how this look turned out, but I was hoping that the rest of our tests would give me something a little more exciting. But fruits aren't the only shape system out there. Allow me to introduce you to the Body Shape Bible, which was invented by two women from the UK named Trini and Susanna. They take the item comparison game to the next level with 12 different objects to compare our bodies to. Though again, they did focus on the feminine shapes overall. I ended up being a column, which might be the least flattering term I've ever heard for my body. And I've been called a dramatic rectangular street urchin. But that's not even the worst part, friends. While it did recommend I try to visually create curves by wearing high-waisted items, which is a style that I love, it also told me to stay away from crop tops. Excuse me? Oh no, you can pry my crop tops from my cold, dead hands. All jokes aside, I do really have to disagree with that recommendation. In my experience, crop tops can really be a great tool to create a curvy silhouette when paired with the right items. But even though I disagreed, I gave their advice my best shot, putting together a coat with a waist tie with a pair of structured cropped pants. And the outfit was okay, but it left me feeling bored. It lacked that dramatic interest that I was starting to realize I really love. But while I was stuck with a boring outfit, at least I wasn't Santi the cornet. I had to Google what the heck a cornet was, but it turns out it's this cute little trumpet. Doesn't that just scream Santi? Okay, enough teasing. Santi was advised to go for shirts that nip in at the waist, which not only draws attention to the area Santi wanted to de-emphasize, but it also caused another issue, showing his skin to the world. In fact, Santi was going crazy after just the couple minutes it took to film this B-roll, because whenever he lifted his arm, let's just say we got a lot more Santi than we bargained for. But that brings us to the final test of this round, the Sheldon somatotypes. Invented in the 1940s by psychologist William Sheldon, he divided everyone into what he called the three somatotypes: the ectomorph, the endomorph, and the mesomorph. I feel like we're missing one here. The xenomorph. That one's me. Anyway, Sheldon published this in his book, The Atlas of Man, which has a less than stellar history. Many of the male college students who had to be photographed nude for this book were not fully informed about how the photos were going to be used. And then you have Sheldon's questionable beliefs when it comes to how your appearance dictates your personality. For example, according to Sheldon, mesomorph body types were more likely to end up as criminals, which is a level of body shaming I just didn't know someone could reach.
Cause I got joy, this light inside. If you're feeling low, grab a hold of mine. Joy, lifting up your soul a little day. Oh, I really love this guy. Lord, Lord, Lord.
You got this, man. You just gotta go out there and crush it.
Okay, let's
Which
do.
is a level of body shaming I just didn't know someone could reach. On that note, Santi ended up being a mesomorph. And despite Sheldon's very questionable opinions on their personalities, his advice on what they should wear was actually very flattering. It basically boils down to, you look good in everything, so you do you, boo. Even so, Santi did have a few specific pieces of advice that he tried to pull off in his look. One was for him to avoid anything that would add size to his shoulders. Basically the opposite of what Santi's been after for this whole video. He was also advised to lean into V-necks and other fitted shirts with big patterns. And Santi's choice of this fitted brown patterned shirt did help to de-emphasize his torso, but it didn't really do much else to help Santi's goals. Not great results this round. And to make matters worse, I couldn't clearly figure out my type. None of the examples really looked like me. I was too fleshy to be an ectomorph, but not muscular enough to be a mesomorph, and not round enough to be an endomorph. I was just too average. And looking at the examples, it was starting to feel like this test was really less about body shape than about your body weight, which is always something I'd worried about when it came to body shape systems. That they would only ever cater to a specific body experience. And I was definitely feeling that here. But I wanted to keep our episode going, so I ended up putting myself as an ectomorph with a little bit of meso thrown in to try and carve out a space for myself in this system. I was advised to lean into heavy fabrics like velvet and to try puffy shapes and straps at the shoulders and bust to add volume and structure, and to keep everything feeling very rounded. The meso in me once again told me to emphasize the waist, so I pulled out all the stops to try and make this work. The sleeves added volume and flare, while the heavy velvet of the skirt helped add volume to my hips while still being fairly structured. The harness was my playful addition to bring in the waist and add the strappy look that they had talked about. While I do love this look, it is likely a little far off from what Sheldon was going for, but it made me happy, and was the first time I felt like I was bringing a little bit more of my personality into this experiment. Wow, what a natural segue to our final category. Fashion is, and has always been, meant to be a way for you to showcase your personality through your clothes. And that's exactly what our final systems say they can do. I think this may be the piece that has been missing from this entire experiment so far. Let's find out. Starting with a woman named Carol Tuttle. Back in the day, as she puts it, she battled a lot of frustration and shame around her appearance. She would follow all the advice and the trends, but even if her outfits looked good, she didn't feel good in them. So she decided to create a system called Dressing Your Truth that helps you dress not only for your physical type, but for your personality type. But before we could even learn about our truth and how to dress for it, we had to watch a 30-minute presentation from Carol that gave us the full lowdown on what we're getting ourselves into. It basically sorts you into one of 4 energy types. Type 1 is bright and happy, lighthearted, and spontaneous. Type 2 is fluid, comforting, reassuring, and detail-oriented. Type 3 is determined, reactive, and very intense. And type 4 is critical and opinionated, wants respect, and is very straightforward. And this is how Santi and I learned we have more in common than we thought, as we both ended up being a type 3. So what about the actual fashion advice? Let me tell you, friends, I was having an existential crisis watching her video on how to style a type 3 energy, because the clothes she was showing really were not my style at all. But her actual advice was right on the money and fit into the styles that I already gravitated towards. Flare leg pants, mixing textures and patterns, and fabrics that don't restrict my movements. I love fancy clothes that feel like pajamas. And the part that really sealed the deal for me, she recommended upholstery fabrics, which, if you don't know, is basically the fabric on your couch. And sure enough, I already own something that fit the bill. This cat print upholstery blazer. I paired it with these flared pants that tie at the waist and a dragon scale style ribbed tank top to really dive headfirst into that mixing texture advice. It was also my most comfortable outfit of the day so far. As for Santi, while he didn't really take Carol's type 3 advice to heart outside of the easy moving fabrics, he did pick an outfit that went with his personality. Just look at how happy he is. He's practically grinning from ear to ear. When it comes to dressing for his truth, Santi hit the nail on the head. Good job, Santi. And for our final two systems, we are going with the big dog of personality tests, Myers-Briggs. We've talked about this test a few times across the channels, but the TLDR version is it is a test where you get sorted into one of 16 different personality types based on an extreme set of questions. Kind of reminds me a lot of our Kibbe system. I am an INFJ, aka the advocate, and Santi is an ENTP, aka the debater. We looked at the advice from two different sites, the Psychology Junkie and Ultima 2, and it turns out they were nearly identical in their recommendations. So we put all of it into one final look. And let me just say, more than any other test I took today, this one felt like it understood me the most. Almost too well. It said that when I go out, I like to pair basics with big statement pieces, which, looking at the outfit I put together for this option, and heck, even most of the outfits I've worn today, is definitely true. But what really got me? It said that at home, I am a comfy slob in sweats, giant cardigans, and crew necks. Dang, I feel a little called out there. Accurately called out, but called out
Yeah, that makes sense though.
nonetheless. And Santi was feeling the same way. He was
That was a little cold.
told that his type prefers comfortable, loose-fitting pieces of clothing, which is exactly what he told us at the start of the episode.
Typically comes to fairly loose-fitting clothes.
But it didn't end there. It also said that his type tends to enjoy clothing that resonates with something that they love. If they're a Star Wars fan, they might wear Star Wars t-shirts. And Santi, he loves wearing anime-themed apparel. The first time I met him, he told me about how he was so excited to rock a Naruto-themed outfit to VidCon. And lo and behold, his choice for today, to represent his entire personality, a Naruto t-shirt complete with a nine-tailed fox design on the back. Clearly, these systems had me and Santi pet. Santi, from what I understand, this is your favorite outfit.
Oh yeah. I mean, anytime that I can show off a little bit of like my anime geek like side, I'm always down for it.
I mean, that's me, but Beetlejuice, apparently.
I see it.
But after all that, spending hours testing and
Yeah, that would make sense.
analyzing our bodies for the good of the theorist community, what was the big takeaway from this whole experience? I really liked almost every outfit that I had. The jacket outfit wasn't my favorite. It was a little too tight to move in and not how I would normally wear it. But for the most part, all of them tended to fall into how I normally dress. That being said, the one that said I can't wear crop tops is dead to me. And while I didn't remember it at the time, it turns out that the outfit that I didn't like and the tests that I didn't like, they were the same one. Sorry, not sorry, Body Shape Bible. I'm swiping left on this one.
For me, the one that I really didn't like was the one that nipped at the waist. So the idea is you a little bit more of that shape, but since we've established I'm thick, it doesn't really do that
It's
for
not
me.
giving you the shape that you want.
One of the things that was the most beneficial is the incorporation of vertical lines into my wardrobe. It's not something I normally do, but a couple of the outfits ended up really working for my figure, surprisingly.
Yeah, I'd say that and the swoop that really helps accentuate your legs and not cut them off short were the two things that I think you should take away from this. That said, this feels very Santi with how you normally dress, and the fact that it fits your personality type, I think says a lot about what you can take away from this episode. Things that you want to wear will always feel more natural on your body, though you can take a little bits and pieces of all the advice that these different body shape tests have to really help learn the different ways of accentuating and de-emphasizing different parts of your body depending on what you're looking to show off. I feel like over the course of my fashion journey getting to this point, I've learned a lot of those lessons already, but I never had the vocabulary and the words to express what I was trying to do, and now I do.
Soñar y crecer no es tarea sencilla. Lo último que necesitan los bebés
Lego.
Going through this gauntlet of body shapes, I ended up coming away with some really powerful takeaways. When it comes to specific advice on how to draw attention to or away from certain parts of our bodies, most of these tests did a good job offering some advice that actually does work. But you should only try to hide or emphasize a certain part of your figure if that's something that you want to do, not because some random person online or in a magazine told you to. They don't know you or your body. But the most important thing to take away from this episode is that when it comes down to it, our favorite outfits from today were not the ones where we were actively trying to hide or cover up sensitive areas, but instead they were the ones that just fit our personality. I mean, look at Santi's final outfit. Is that oversized t-shirt the quote-unquote most flattering thing Santi wore in this episode? Probably not. But out of all the outfits that he wore today, this was his favorite because it reflected who he was as a person and his interests. And that made him look and feel more comfortable and happy in what he was wearing. As for me, I do think that I'm a romantic and a dramatic and a rectangular type 3 street urchin. It just depends on the day. You don't have to feel pigeonholed into one specific type and think everything in your wardrobe needs to adhere to one standard way of beauty. Heck, look at all of the outfits that I wore today. They all came out of my closet, and I'd argue that they do not all fit into one box, nor do I want them to. I love experimenting with fashion and trying on different looks and personas. Plus, I think that this episode has helped Santi dip his toes into doing that a little bit himself. And when it comes down to it, isn't that what fashion is all about? But why not relax and unwind by cozying up in something a little bit more comfortable? Whether you're spending your winter skiing on the slopes or relaxing inside with a hot cup of cocoa, we have got you covered with our brand new winter line from Theorywear. And even better, it's on sale. Yes, you are getting a discount already because we want you to end your year with a bang and some amazing new clothes. You can keep warm and stylish in our Winter Lodge sweater. Listen, this thing is peak coziness. It's knitted, soft, and has a slouchy fit that makes it perfect for a day spent lounging on the couch. And no, we didn't forget to include the fan favorite bubble patch. You told us you loved it, so we brought it back. And theorists, we have made something that we've never done before. Camo. Our Winter Lodge camo tee and matching sweatpants have our custom-made Theorist camo with Hidden Theory logos. It's perfect for when you want to look like you love the great outdoors, when in reality you actually prefer staying inside watching theories all day. So head on over to theoryverse.store to get yours now while it's still 10% off. And check out all of our other Boxing Day promotions before they are gone for good. Remember, this sale ends on December 31st, 2025. So come New Year's, those deals are gone. Hello, and welcome to Amy's Optometry, where we have only the highest tech to find you your perfect pair of glasses.
Okay.
I am a doctor, and we are going to go through each data point, and I will find out which pair of glasses best suits each face based on not only their face shape, but their actual features. This is Amy's Optometry. Today, I have 5 patients on my schedule. Ash, Dan, Lee, Santi, and Tom. And here's the thing. None of them know how to tell which glasses make them look fire versus which ones leave them looking more like Benjamin Franklin. I cannot keep looking like these founding fathers. Don't you worry, Ash. I am a professional, and I've come armed with a number of tests to help solve this spectacle situation. Oh my god, you have a whole, agenda. This is a doctor's appointment, and usually you get many tests. Many tests, all right. Don't doubt the process, Ash. As my patients file in for their exams, let's talk about what exactly it will entail. That doesn't break HIPAA, right? Nah, I'm sure we're fine. It was not fine. We will be taking a series of measurements to figure out which key features to consider when picking which frames will best frame your face. While most places only rely on 3 measurements of the glasses themselves when finding your fit, we here at Amy's Optometry are measuring you and being extremely thorough about it, with more than double the amount of measurements than any other eye doctor on the block. These will be divided into the 3 F's of finding your perfect glasses: face, features, and fit. Theorists, it's time to break out my handy-dandy measuring tape and prepare my patients for a very eventful exam. Our face category contains one major test. What we are going to do here is take some measurements to find your face shape.
Sounds good.
There are 7 major face shapes: triangle, round, square, oval, diamond, rectangle, and heart. And each has its own set of variables to consider when choosing a pair of glasses. Specifically, which frame shapes will look best on your face shape, and if you need wider or narrower frames from temple to temple. So how do you find yours? We'll need to take 4 measurements. Let's go through them one by one. We are first going to start with the length of your face. So it's from your hairline to the tip of your chin.
Oh, this could be so humbling for me. Yep.
Some patients were easier to measure than others. I have to find your chin because you have a beard.
I also have no chin.
That's not true. And I had no extra hand, which is why I recruited my patients to take note of their measurements for me in my very special doctor's notebook. I mean, without their glasses, it's not like they can read it, right?
Ha! You have a bigger face than I do.
Shut up, son.
Hey, doctor-patient confidentiality.
Looking at some of these other numbers, it's you.
Doctor-patient confidentiality.
No!
This is what I get for trusting people when they say, I can't see without my glasses. Liars.
My eyesight isn't that bad.
Moving on, we next need to find your forehead width from edge of hairline to edge of hairline. I'm gonna tuck your hair back for a sec.
Do whatever you need.
You just have such a good swoop. I actually have a pretty good idea what face shape you are already.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, I actually
Just
do.
from that?
Because I've been doing this for a long time. I am
Years.
a professional. And it's this professional's opinion that Ash and Santi should never be allowed in the same exam room ever again.
Shut up, Ash.
So we're at 14.8.
You big forehead having.
Or someone is just like a pinky finger come to life. It's important to note that the wider your head is, like patient Tom, for example. He got the noggin.
I do got the wide face.
The larger size your glasses will need to be. This is because a wider head generally means that your pupils are a wider distance apart. Pupil distance, or PD, is usually listed in your prescription. But you can also find it with the help of a friend by measuring the distance from the center of your left pupil to the center of the right in millimeters. Just make sure that while your friend or friendly neighborhood optometrist measures, you should be staring at something 10 to 20 feet away to keep your gaze even. You want your pupils to hit at the dead center of your lens. If you know this before going into your next eyeglass appointment, your eye doctor will be shook.
Soy Stephanie, actriz y socia de Walmart Plus. Soy su doble, tengo Prime. Yo obtengo los mismos grandes beneficios por menos. Sí, obtengo entrega gratis el mismo día en muchas cosas. ¿Vas tan enmandado? ¡Claro! Y en mis recetas médicas también. ¿Qué? Y mi membresía solo cuesta $98 al año. Y yo pago mucho más.
Que las membresías se vean igual, no ahorran igual.
¿Quién diría?
Okay.
Your Honor, I would like to present Exhibit A. The witness claims she hasn't been using premium body wash, but my partner Olay and I...
2 of our face shape measurements down and 2 more to go. Next is cheekbone width. So we're going to go from one cheekbone to the other. 24.4. He a wide boy.
I have a large face on a small head.
It's okay, Tom. We accept all faces here, including Santi,
Well, yeah, that's true.
of the mystery head size. You see, Santi is typically told by others that he has a wide face, despite his regular glasses size not reflecting that. And when you look a little closer, you can start to see why. Honestly, that's probably why you have the discrepancy between the wide face and the narrow face. You're wider here. That's what people are telling you.
Yeah.
Versus where your glasses actually sit, which seems to be a very, very narrow part of your face. If hourglass was a face shape, Santi would have it. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
It's not. In fact, this is a very unique feature of his face that has a huge impact on how his glasses fit. And it's why taking the time to get your own measurements is so important. The little details make a big difference. But back to our final measurement, the width of your jawline, which you measure by going from the back of your jawbone to the center of your chin and multiplying by 2.
Oh, I have such a Chad Sigma Omega jaw. It's awesome. I'm just mewing.
Don't stick
Yeah.
out your chin. If you don't have one, we'll find out now.
Spoiler alert, he didn't. But we finally had all of our data to find their face shapes.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
If your measurements are all equal within a couple millimeters, then you are a square, like Tom. His head is basically straight out of Minecraft. Man, they should have really cast him.
Well, okay then. Yeah.
That movie. He would have fit right in. Get it? Because he's a square. Anyway, as a square, you'll likely have very
Well, damn.
angular features, especially your jawline. If you want to accentuate those angles, you should
But that's true.
go for rectangular or geometric shapes, as Tom learned in his try-on session in my Examatron 3000, a very high-tech machine that allows you to experience hundreds upon thousands of glasses without spending thousands of dollars. I know, I'm a genius.
Anyway, so I went to push my glasses up there. See, that's how good this is. I believe it.
At Amy's Optometry, we aim to impress.
What time
During
is
his
it?
session, Tom saw that rectangular and geometric frames mimic the shape of his jaw, making it look sharper, squarer, and more pronounced.
This angle, I feel like, makes my jaw look funny to me because it mimics that shape. The angles feel very harsh.
I mean, yeah, honestly, that will happen.
So make my face feel more angular, which is not my preference.
If you, like Tom, want to soften some of those angles, you can exchange them for some circle, oval, or rounded frames.
Having those rounded edges really helps soften the
Yeah, you do have to try on some pairs to see what you like. No care. It is what it is.
squareness of my face. If you've got really harsh lines, it then just emphasizes the fact my face is a square, whereas this just softens out the whole appearance and the whole look.
Just be careful, because squares tend to have wider faces, making it difficult to find circle frames that will fit your face.
I really like circular glasses. The downside is this: you can only ever normally get these in small because they don't want you to have glasses that are this big, which then means you end up with this very, very wide arms.
This can lead to your head looking wider, while your face just looks itty bitty teeny tiny scrunched in the middle. Speaking of round, if your face length and cheeks are equal and your jaw and forehead are slightly smaller, you are either a round or a diamond shape. It all depends on the angularity of your jaw and hairline. All
It really does.
smooth, then you are round, and you have the same issues as a square, but uno reverse. Round, oval, or rounded frames will make your features feel even more circular, like an adorable little beach ball. More angular frames, however, will have the opposite effect. If your biggest measurement is your face length, then you are either an oval or a rectangle, or as we can say now, a Santi or a Dan, respectively. If you, like Santi, have rounded features, then you are an oval face. Circle lenses will make your face look more rounded, while oval lenses will just soften your features, but not to the same extreme. It can actually be very flattering, as Santi discovered.
I haven't historically liked them round, but this actually doesn't look bad. I think it's because it's round, but not like a circle. It's more like oval shape, and since I have an oval face, I've learned, it actually doesn't look bad.
I will be expecting a 5-star review on Yelp from you, sir. Now, if you want to sharpen your features, aim for a more rounded edge, rectangular, or square frame. They will flatter you more than a sharp edge.
This is a lot more my speed. It's a much softer, like rounded shape. It fits and it sits. This is more. Hey, Claudia! Oh, look at that!
If your features are more angular like Dan, then you are a rectangle. Angular frames will suit you best if you want to highlight those chiseled features, specifically rectangular or square ones. Geometrics might not be the best for you.
I really like these a lot. It kind of feels proportionate. This is so weird to be the first one, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's the one I want.
Yes, dearest, I'm just that good at my job. If you do want to round out your features, stick to ovals or rounded edge squares. Circles are probably a little too drastic for you.
Oh my god, no!
Triangle-shaped faces have features that start wide at your forehead and get narrower as you go down, and are actually very similar to two other shapes, the diamond and the heart. The key difference between all of them, the hairline. hairline. Triangles have a flat hairline, while a diamond arches upward like the tip of a diamond, and hearts a pointed hairline. Thus, a heart-shaped face. Aw, yay, that's so cute. You also seem to be a heart-shaped face.
I got the Vegeta going on.
A little bit. He's actually met Vegeta, you know? It's just so cool. But back to the shapes. Due to their similarities, these categories are able to wear the same shape options, which is to say, all of them, barring some wild card options.
I'm running a science experiment.
Cause I got joy. This night inside. If you're feeling low, grab a hold of mine. Joy. Lifting up your soul a little. J-O-Y, filling up the sky. Joy.
Wild
Okay.
card options.
I'm running a science experiment.
Both angular and rounded frames will flatter your face. Congratulations! Your specific frame needs rely less on your face shape and more on your specific features, which just so happens to be the next category of our exam. Now, the savvy glass buyers watching this may have noticed a few frame styles we didn't cover in our face category. Cat eye, brown line, rimless, and aviator. That's because it's your features, not your shape, that determines if they flatter you or
That's true.
not. But that's not all. Your eyebrows, eyes, nose, cheekbones, even your facial hair all factor into what size and thickness of frames suit you and which leave you looking like.
Music Man.
Throughout these exams, one thing kept coming up time and time again: eyebrows, and how much was or was not visible above and below the top frame of your glasses.
I still don't love how high they kind of arch over my eyebrow.
I like when the glasses kind of sit where my eyebrows are. If they sit right below, it makes my eyebrows look like way thicker than they are.
It can't even go past my eyebrows. Give me space. I just need some space. Eyebrows come in all shapes and sizes. Some have defining arches, and some have laid claim to the full forehead. And those specific measurements can make or break your glasses. And some friendships. Don't raise your eyebrows at me.
Sorry, I'm a reactive person, so I'm like, you're saying things, I'm like,
Control the brows, Tom. Don't let them control you. To give you some context for your eyebrows, let's talk size. Vertically, that is. An average height at the widest part of your eyebrow is about 1 centimeter, like Ash and Tom. 1.1 to 1.3 is mid. Not super short, but not super tall, like Santi. And 1.4 centimeters and above is considered a tall brow, if you will, like Lee and Dan.
I think I have pretty good eyebrows.
You do, Dan. Now, the taller your brow, the more surface area it is likely to have, and the less area available between the top of your glasses frame and where your eyebrow begins. There is a personal preference aspect here on how much brow you want on display, but here are some best practices based on our collective data. Number 1, frames that sit under your eyebrows, leaving space so that they are not connected. This helps keep you from looking like you have a unibrow or no eyebrows at all. Aviators can be a real problem here due to the double bridge.
Yeah.
That is a thick man, right in the center. It almost has like a unibrow effect on me because it goes right into the eyebrows.
I think that it gives unibrow in a way that just I don't love.
Overall, aviators were found to be the least flattering of all of our shapes due to the specific issue. All of our patients agreed that aviators should stick to being sunglasses and not everyday wear. Number 2, have the frame cut partially into your brows but still let you create that space when you move them.
I prefer cutting my eyebrows a little bit. I think it also softens the framing of the glasses because they're kind of blending into my darker eyebrows. You can see that one eyebrow is like being cut off way more than the other. If they are lower on the eyebrow, it then means that one might be cut off but the other isn't, and so it then highlights the difference.
However, this only works with the thickest of frames. If you try this with thin frames, it creates an unusual problem. Also, the fact it's so humbling when my eyebrows are so thick that they protrude into the lenses of the glasses. I refuse to make them thinner. It's just humbling. Speaking of, consideration number 3. Glasses that extend above the eyebrow, causing the eyebrow to appear within the frame, is typically not a flattering look to most features.
Yeah, no, they're too big. The eyebrows are in the lenses, and that feels weird.
I feel like my eyebrows get completely subsumed by the lenses in a way that feels weird.
Hey, some people's weird is another person's perfection. So let me know in the comments if you like having your eyebrows inside your lenses. I'm super curious. Now, the next feature to consider with frame size is the size of your eyes. Yes, the whole reason that you wear glasses gets to have a say in this too. It's only fair. Your eye height and eye length play a huge part part in what lens sizes you should be looking for. When your frames are too small, your eyes start to look claustrophobic.
This is even worse. I feel like there's even less space here, and it like makes my eyes smaller because it like cages them in.
She
Hey, that's kind of true, no?
is so small. It's not even getting to the ends of my eyes.
They're taking up so much of the lens. It just makes it feel like it's all very compact. Whereas if you have bigger eyes with then having bigger frames, it makes it feel a bit more open and more evenly fill the face.
And I have the perfect method to find the perfect frame size every time. Start by measuring your eye height, the part that is actually exposed eyeball. Starting from the top waterline to the bottom waterline. Yes, I know it's scary having stuff all up in your eyeballs, but it's for science. Then do the same for your eye width, measuring from the inner corner to the outer corner. Then divide your height by your length. This is now your eye size ratio, which is a quick way to know at a glance what frames will fit you best. If your ratio is less than 0.29, you have small eyes, and small to medium frames will look best on you. A 0.3 to 0.59 ratio means that medium frames will suit you best, and a ratio of 0.6 and above means that you can wear those extra large frames. Again, this is meant to be a fast way to narrow down your options really quickly. If you want to go more in depth with each specific option, then this is what you should do. Look at yourself in a mirror with your eyes in their normal resting position. Now take a measurement of the space from the top of the waterline to the top of the frame, as well as from the bottom of your waterline to the bottom of the frame. This measurement should be equal to or greater than half of your eye height. And then do the same for your eye width. Anything smaller than half your original measurement will make your eyes look too crowded inside the frames, which is why our small eye squad, Lee and Dan, are the only ones to look good in short frames. The rest of our patients all have larger eyes, and so need larger frames. And there's one other consideration to make. If you, like Santi, have that hourglass head that dips in at the temples, bear this in mind. You may find that wider glasses leave a gap at the edges due to your temples being narrower than where your ears meet your head. And so if you want to avoid that gap, you want to stick to slightly narrower frames. Or, maybe it's just Santi. Now, there is one other facial ratio that can help narrow down those options even more and lead you to your perfect pair of specs, your cheekbones and nose. While we have already talked about the width of your cheekbones, we now need to talk about their prominence.
This is really important because you want to see where your glasses are going to sit. If you have very prominent cheekbones, the glasses will actually sit on your cheekbones and affect the way that they sit on your face and how they look.
Look at the profiles of all of our patients. Tom, Dan, and Santi all have flat cheekbones, so they can sit this one out. Lee and Ash, on the other hand, have prominent cheekbones. You can tell by how they come out from the face towards the tip of the nose. But that's only one part. Whether this will be a problem or not for them depends on their nose bridge depth. Yes, we are being that pedantic, folks. Find where on your nose your glasses naturally rest, and measure from that point to where your nose meets your cheek. This is your depth. Ash has a deeper nose, meaning that their prominent cheekbones should not interfere with them wearing a larger frame, which is lucky for them because they have larger eyes. Conversely, Lee had a shallow nose, meaning that large frames will likely not rest comfortably on his face. Let's look at those profiles again. Notice that Tom and Ash's cheekbones sit higher on their face, closer to their eye.
Yeah.
Unlike the rest of our patients, they have high cheekbones. For most glasses shapes, this doesn't play a huge role. But if you're a cat eye fan, pay attention. Cat eye glasses curve upwards at the outer ends. On high cheekbones, this can give a very pretty lifting effect.
I kind of dig the cat eye situation that's going on up here. This is the kind of shape of glasses I feel like I see a lot on the internet, especially amongst like readers and bisexuals.
On lower cheekbones, however, you may find that this upward tilt competes with your natural features. And the final feature of this category, facial hair. Let's use Santi as our starting example. Throughout our exam, he learned that thin wire frames looked odd on his face.
I feel like I want it to be a little bit more of a statement. It's just a wiry, small thing that doesn't highlight any of my features.
Santi has many prominent features, with the dark hair, dark eyebrows, and mostly dark beard, which means that thinner frames start to get lost within his features. Instead, if Santi wants a thinner look, he should opt for something like a rimless brown line. The top of the frame still gives that definition, letting the rimless bottom soften out the rest of his face.
I'm Stephanie, actor and Walmart Plus member. I'm her body double. I have Prime. Ow! I poked you. With Walmart Plus, I get free same-day delivery on all kinds of stuff. Wait.
Brown line. The top of the frame still gives that definition, letting the rimless bottom soften out the rest of his face. It's balanced. The same can be said for Dan and Lee, who both enjoyed rimless options. But Tom, our only beardless man, and Ash, our only beardless not man, found that the brown lines and other rimless options did not suit their face.
It just feels like it's very, very top heavy, especially because I can't grow a beard, so I haven't got anything down here framing my face. You then end up with just lots of dark and then lots of not very dark.
I don't think I like rimless on the bottom that much. If there's no bottom rim, it does feel very barren. It feels naked and afraid.
Now don't be afraid of all this new information. And don't be naked either. You're in my doctor's office, remember? Don't make it weird. Anyways, now that we've shown you how to find your best shapes, sizes, and thickness, oh my, it seems like we know everything, right? Well, no. You see, there is one eyeglass mystery that still has yet to be solved. No, it's not which frame shapes are his, hers, or theirs. That preference tends to vary person to person. It's also not what frames make you look old. Spoiler alert, if your glasses have those little plastic feet, you're giving BGE, Big Grandpa Energy. And no, it's not what color best suits you. You can actually watch our color season episode to find that out. It's this thing. This little thing right here. The arm, the ear arm, the ear. We're going with ear. It's the earm that plays a secret and unexpected role in what glasses have the perfect fit. When it comes to earm fit, most people tend to look at the length of the earm, not where it connects to your frame.
The ear arms are like higher on the lens, so they sit a little lower on my face. I don't really like that.
I don't love how high these sit.
The earms are on like the middle of the frame as opposed to the top, and it looks very weird on me. They feel like they sit much lower on my face than they do, but it's like an optical illusion.
And I'm about to give you a peek behind the curtain. You've heard of the golden ratio. You've probably heard of the silver ratio. Well, now get ready to meet the style theory ratio. This ratio helps measure the degree of the angle from the ear to the eye, and the eye to the bridge of the nose. And yes, I found each angle for each measurement on each side of every single patient. This number will tell you how low your eyes sit in the frame of your glasses and where your earm should connect for your best fit. Think of it this way, where pupil distance will help with the horizontal, this will help with that tricky vertical fit. Now, there is the factor of personal preference to consider in all of this, but the style theory ratio, or as I like to say, the STR, will take a lot of the guessing out of the equation with our equation. This number will go hand in hand with your eye size, so keep that measurement handy. To find your STR, you will need to find the above angles that we already mentioned, and then follow this formula per side. Ear to eye divided by ear to nose. This will give you the STR for both your right side and your left side. You can pause the video and do this now if you want. It's okay, I'll wait. Got it? Great. Here is how to apply those numbers to your face and your glasses. There are 3 categories: low STR, mid STR, and high STR. If your ratio is between 0 to 0.2, you are low STR. This means that your ear to eye to nose line is almost a straight line. If you have low STR, you likely need frames with earms that hit between the top 2/4 and the middle of the frame. And if you have larger or medium eyes, you likely want to stick to the top of that range, depending on the shape of the frames that you're using. Small eyes, on the other hand, should not have that same worry. If your ratio is between 0.21 and 0.4, then you are mid STR, meaning that your eyes sit slightly under that line between your ears to your nose. You will likely want to stick to that top 2/4 earm connecting point, as middle connecting frames are likely going to sit a little too high for you. This is even more the case for bigger eyes, as you have more space to cover. And finally, if your ratio is 0.41 or higher, you are high STR. This means that your eyes sit far below that line between your ears to your nose, creating a very deep V. Because of this, you likely want to stick to the top earm connecting point, or the top 1/4. This will mean that that connecting point will hit around your eyebrow line, or just under, and that the lenses will sit lower and more in line with your STR. Again, larger eyes will need to pay close attention to their lens size here, as you have more eyes to cover. Middle connecting frames, however, you should avoid at all costs. But you know what? We could take this one step further And we're gonna take your STR for your left and right side and subtract the smaller STR from the larger. This is how evenly your glasses will sit on your face. If your difference is less than 1, you're pretty even. 1 to 2, and you may need to alter your glasses depending on the shape and size of the specific pair. And if you, like Santi, have a difference of more than 2, you should probably spend a few extra dollars to get those earrings altered for the sake of your eyes. But I can honestly say that today is one for the books. And that's because we are finally answering a question that you all have been asking for months. What is the best way to shave your legs? Now, before you go clicking away because you're like, I don't shave my legs, this video holds no relevance for me, I have a question for you. Are you sure? While most people associate shaving your legs with aesthetics, that's not the only reason people pick up a razor. Nor is it really the most common. You know what is? Sports! Swimming, cycling, even some football and soccer players shave their legs for various reasons. And none of them want to deal with razor burn or ingrown hairs any more than people like me, who shave their legs because they enjoy the feeling of fresh sheets against a smooth leg. And the best way to solve any problem? Conspire to make 6 of your close personal friends shave on camera for the entire internet to see. So, that's what I did. I packed my car full of top secret shaving cargo and drove all over the greater Los Angeles area, which may not seem like a big deal, but in LA traffic, that's like 8 hours spent dropping off all of my little gifts on people's doorsteps. In each of those packages, I left a set of instructions, a carefully curated selection of razors, some leg lubricants, and a mission to find out the most optimized way to shave your legs, thereby changing the course of body hair removal forever. Making up our team of shaving volunteers are a bunch of my LA friends. Repping the men, we had StyleTheory regular Dan, who shaved a few times before for swimming, and Vance, a professional drag artist who shaves often for his shows. And then we have my ladies, who all have years of leg shaving under their metaphorical belts. There's my bookstore besties of 10 plus years, Jessica and Brianna, the amazing Asia, whose husband Melvin was actually one of the shavers in our beard episode. And finally, our own editor Jerica, who you may recognize better as her animated cat girl persona. But of course, I wasn't going to make them all do it alone. Yes, theorist, I am throwing my legs into the game too, because if there is one thing you should know about me, it's that I'll never dish out something that I'm not willing to do myself. My legs are no stranger to the theorist scientific method. Speaking of, let me break down what we'll be testing today. In order to get the best, most optimized shaving experience, we need to take into account every step of the process. 3 steps, to be exact. Step 1, exfoliant. Do you even need it? For this, we'll be keeping it simple. Our right leg will be our control, and our left leg will be our exfoliated leg. Before each shave, we will scrub it down with this lovely candy cane scented scrub. So refreshing. For step 2, we're going to use all that leg real estate to our advantage. While a face can really only be divided into 2 halves, legs, we can fit a solid 3 there, baby. Front left, front right, and back. Which means we can finally test the 3 most popular kinds of, well, for lack of a better word, leg lubricants. You know, that stuff that helps your razor slip and slide smoothly over your skin. Yeah, there's not a great way to say it. So, how about we make it better by making it a game? Every time someone says the word lubricant, you have to leave a soap emoji in the comments, or put it in the live chat if you're here early enough for the premiere. Let YouTube know that we only post good, clean content here on Style Theory. But back to the experiment. For each section of our leg, we are going to assign it a lubricant. On our right, we'll be using shaving cream, the most popular option. Over 149 million Americans use shaving cream in 2020, and they think that by the end of 2024, that could reach upwards of 153 million. With that many people using it, there has to be something there.
Well, okay then. I mean, yeah.
Right? Well, these companies certainly say that there is.
Skintimate Shave Gel goes on silky, foams up soft. Pure Silk Shave Cream moisturizes for legs like pure silk. Try Skintimate Shave Gel or new Skintimate Shave Cream. Soften, smooth, and protect against nicks with Skintimate.
See, I was right about the swimmers. Unlike our other options, shaving cream is meant to make a cushion between your skin and the blades. And that cushion is meant to protect your skin from getting more cuts. And on our left side, we will be testing one that's actually a little new to me. Shaving oil. Like shaving cream, it claims to moisturize and soften hair to make shaving easier, but instead of going for volume, it's all about being thin, which is meant to keep the razor from getting clogged and potentially allow for a closer shave. And finally, for our control on the backside, we have our basic boring bar soap. This will let us know if all those marketing bells and whistles from the commercials are really just that, marketing. Moving on from the lubricants, we have upped our razor game for this episode to a whopping 5 different options. And theorists, I have something to tell you.
Your kitchen isn't the only thing working overtime this holiday season. With all the cozy chaos of holiday baking, it smells like magic, and you should
Yeah,
too.
no one
That's why
cares.
this holiday season, I'm
Nothing.
partnering with Secret to create a dessert inspired by their limited edition holiday scents. From
Oh,
champagne
fuck.
blush to spoonful of sugar, these deodorants are packed with Secret's strongest odor fighters. So even when I'm covered in flour and halfway through a donut glaze crisis, my underarms still smell like a dessert. The spoonful of sugar scent is warm
Sorry,
and sweet
guys.
and a little creamy, just like these vanilla custard donuts, which are filled with a silky vanilla bean pastry cream and coated in sugar. Plus, the Secret deodorant provides
Different options. And theorists, I have something to tell you. Now, one thing I kind of revealed in the toothbrush episode is that me, I'm a little basic. And I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to admit it. See, where I use the normal, disposable, fairly affordable toothbrush, I also use the normal, disposable, very affordable razor. For this experiment, I got all of us my normal, everyday Gillette disposable razor. No muss, no fuss, and it's cheap. A bag of these babies will only set you back about $10, making it less than $1 for each razor. Then we have a safety razor, this one from the brand Kitsch. I gotta say, this one, it kind of scares me. It's just really intimidating, you know? It's big, it's hefty, and it looks like a power tool. Next up, we have our two 5-blade options. A women's version
Yeah, that's true.
and a man's version. What exactly makes them different? Well, we're gonna put that to the test. And finally, in honor of our dearly departed MatPat, we are going to test an electric razor. Yes, they do actually make them for legs. For the purpose of our experiment, we're going to use the circular head option because that one was his favorite. Each razor, lubricant, and exfoliant combination will be judged on how close of a shave we get, do we end up with ingrown hairs or razor burns after, and if we would consider making it our new everyday razor. And we'll be shaving our legs every 2 days, the average for people looking to keep their legs smooth and hairless. Which, let me actually take a moment here for an important reminder to everyone out there. Body hair is not something you should ever feel like you have to remove or hide. Keep it,
That's true.
style it, shave it. Your body is your body. Take me for example.
Like me, I don't give a fuck what people think about me, so yeah, just let you know, and you certainly don't know.
Nowadays, I'm a person that shaves when they feel like it. And like I said over on GT Live,
I don't know how long you've let your leg hair grow ever in your life.
There's a thing called the winter coat.
Okay,
That
I can figure out what you're talking about.
everyone has a different relationship to their body hair.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy my body hair. I like how it looks.
I grow very thick and very dark body hair, so I'm not the biggest fan.
I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with body hair. There are times where I just can't even be bothered to care about my body hair, whether it be on my legs, my arms, my upper lip, my armpits. Especially as being a mom, it's literally one of the last things I think about.
It's a mixed feeling, and I feel like a lot of female identifying people will generally agree that body hair is just like it's not good, it's not bad, it's like, ooh, weird.
And for me, well, leg hair and I have a difficult history. Obviously, if you can't tell from the cutout, I am a very, very pale individual, and my leg hair is not. It's dark and in your face. Even after shaving, you can kind of see my hair under my skin just a little bit, which is something I'm fine with now, but for a long time, it made me feel very, very self-conscious. Specifically because it was a big reason I got teased. I have this core memory of being in my 6th grade world history class, wearing my Y2K capri jeans, feeling super cute, and just minding my own business. While our teacher was giving his lecture, I felt this tap on my shoulder. I turned to see a group of the popular girls sitting behind me and giggling to themselves. Now, I wasn't popular in high school, so at the time, I didn't know why these cool kids really wanted to talk to me. Turns out, it wasn't for any good reason. The conversation went a little bit like this.
Well, yeah, some people will be like that. Okay.
You should shave your legs if you're going to wear that. It's gross.
But I shaved this morning.
Are you sure? I mean, look at you. Ew.
It was rough. So for a while,
Yeah, like I said, I don't give a fuck what people think about me, and he certainly does so.
and we are talking years here, I would only wear pants or long skirts. I was ashamed to show my gross legs to the world. It took me a long, long time to realize that it wasn't me that was gross and wrong. It was their behavior. I love my legs now. We're besties.
That's true. You got to really think who it really is. You. It's not really you. It's them.
We go everywhere
Okay.
together. Heck, we are even taking on YouTube together. And isn't that the best revenge for little Amy? Those same
Yeah.
people who made fun of her now get to see her succeed and run a fashion and style channel. It's like a coming of age movie, except instead of being crowned homecoming queen or something like that, I am about to shave my legs in front of everyone on the internet. Life is just a little funny sometimes, but enough wasting time. Let's dive into the experiment. Almost immediately, I realized I was in just a little too deep. Oh boy, this is one of the most intense setups I've ever done. So we have A cam running it up right front. We have GoPro B cam running it up from the side for the wide shot. And then we have the close-up cam on the phone. But I didn't have time to sit and contemplate my life choices. We needed to prepare our experimental zone. So this is a surgical marker. It is what people use to draw out the diagrams of where they're about to cut people open for surgery. But for our
That's true.
purposes today, it's actually going to help us divide our leg in 3. We all set about dividing our legs into 3, making sure to keep each section as even as possible. And this is when I noticed that everyone had a different setup and method for getting shaving ready. Jessica and Vance opted for a toilet setup, with Jessica standing and Vance taking his sweet time on the porcelain throne. Brianna and Jerica took to a side saddle approach, sitting on the edge of their tubs. And then you had the rest of us, diving feet first into the water. This is called a mixing technique, where if your water starts really cold at first, if you just kind of slosh around for a little bit, eventually you just mix all the hot water in and you end up with nice temperatured water. Truly some big brain moments happening here. Each of us took our time, shaving around all the nooks and crannies on our legs, the ankle, the knee pit. Theorists, going through this footage, I saw a lot of very, let's say, unique angles of everyone. I feel so much closer to all of you. But one wrong move with the razor could spell disaster.
That's true.
iPhone 17 Pro?
And she said she didn't want anything.
Well, getting AT&T's Vistio helped.
Good call.
Get the all-new iPhone 17 Pro on us. The most powerful iPhone yet. Most expensive plan not required.
It was my idea.
Why do you think that everybody in the world just loved the Pearson family so much?
You got to be careful because phone companies are scammers. Sometimes no good.
I think that we really ran the gamut of like every sort of topic.
Yeah.
I mean, we've touched on paternity, weight, race, very timely issues. Obviously,
We needed to keep complete and total focus.
You know who I'm most excited for my dad to see this? He's gonna laugh at me so hard. Oh my god, this is gonna take them an hour. I already cut myself!
Great start there, Dan. However, he wasn't alone. Everyone was struggling with our first razor.
I think I might have cut myself. Ow. Hate it. 0 out of 10.
Little did I know, as I was happily shaving away in my
Oh, that's stuff. No good.
tub, that this video may end up costing me more than just a few cuts and copious amounts of leg hair going down my drain. It could end up costing me every single one of my friendships. Across the
Okay.
board, people were hating on my favorite razor. Many were already feeling the sting of razor burn and seeing irritation pop up on their skin in the form of red bumps. But hey, at least we made it through with only minimal damage, right guys? Oh no. What happened? You cut up your legs how badly? What happened to the guy that said,
I shave at least 3 or 4 times a week, possibly even more.
theorists, I can't in good conscience show you what happened in that bathroom. It's just a little too brand unsafe. Let's just say Vance's bathroom ended the day looking a little bit more like a scene from Dexter than Architecture
Oh, damn. That's tough.
Digest. I think it's time for a little shaving safety PSA so you don't end up like Vance and his
Yeah, but that will happen though.
unfortunate leg situation.
Different razors. Okay.
Welcome to Shaving 101, where we are going to cover leg shaving's 3 biggest no-nos. If you take nothing else from this video, I want you to memorize these 3 rules. Ingrain them into your brain, because if Vance had remembered them, it would have saved his legs. 1. If your leg hair is longer than 1/4 of an inch, trim it before you take a razor to it. This is why people generally use a beard trimmer if they haven't shaved in a while. Do the same for your legs. 2. Never shave dry. Why? Because 3, you need to soften your leg hair with warm water before you start shaving. And hey, bonus tip 3.5, make sure you wait until those initial goosebumps from the temperature change go away.
That's kind of true. You got to soften your skin somehow, okay, before you start shaving.
Will come, so wait it out. However, there was a bright side, the exfoliant. We all agreed that the exfoliated legs shaved better, even if the difference was small. And when it came to our lubricants, the shaving cream was the clear front runner.
When it came to the lubricants, the shaving cream, for me, was by far the best with that blade specifically.
Overall, our participants liked being able to clearly see where they had already shaved, the spots they missed, and the soft protection of the cloud-like foam. Or most of them did.
I feel like the shaving oil, was the best fit. There's no like extra buildup that's happening around the blades. Whereas like the shaving gel and this bar of soap, I'm not only collecting my hair as I'm shaving, but it's also collecting the gel residue, the soap residue.
So while things may not have been looking good for my disposable friend, it was time to move on to day 2, the one I had been dreading since the beginning. So this is our straight razor day. Oh, feels so weird sitting in your clothes in a tub. We are using the Kitsch straight razor. Friends, this thing was intimidating. It was full metal, and the weight of it alone left me shaking in my shorts. And I wasn't the only one feeling the pressure.
I don't like this at all. I actually have a weird fear of knives. Ever since I kind of conceptualized what a knife is and what a knife can do to the human body, freaks me out.
Oh, I'm so scared. Don't make me cut. Amy's trying to kill me. I thought we were cool, Amy.
Jerica, I promise, we are cool. But as we set to work, a few of us came to a surprising realization.
Get it out.
Hey, at least no one is trying to cut themselves with scissors, though. That's good, at least.
Learning curve.
While we all struggled a little bit to start, it was clear the blade was working, and working well. Maybe a little too well. Putting my leg back in the water really stings. Not a fan. It felt like I was taking off the top layer of my skin. But I kept going, and once I got to the shaving cream, suddenly everything changed. Because the cream feels like there's a barrier between me and this blade that I'm putting up against my skin, I am less hesitant, and I am willing to press harder. A few bathrooms away, Asia was having a life-changing moment.
The shaving oil with this, I have never gotten such a close and smooth shave before. Really the best combo.
Dan was also having a life-changing moment, just for different reasons.
My legs feel weird. They feel so weird without like any hair. It's very smooth. It's very fun, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that will also happen, okay.
It's okay, Dan. The smooth life isn't for everyone. At the end of day 2, Dan, Asia, Jessica, and myself were all pro safety razor.
I liked that there was weight to it. I feel like that helped me get a closer.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little bit of weight to the razor. It depends on what razor you like. No good
shave.
While Brianna and Jerica were left traumatized by their battle wounds. Yet even they had to admit that the razor did its job.
But I will say, the leg does feel very smooth. So that's a super plus.
And it really did. Look at those legs. So smooth, so shiny, so potentially worth losing every single one of my friends for making them go through this. But I'm hoping to make this gamble worth it, and you can actually help by clicking that subscribe button. I know it's a scary time, so much change and so much uncertainty, so why not subscribe so you can see a familiar, friendly face in your sub feed each week, bringing you new and exciting...
Also, to see a familiar face too, why don't you subscribe today then below those? I'm already at 112 subscribers. Let's keep going, people. If you wanna see a familiar YouTube channel as well on YouTube. Okay. Also, we will really like you coming into dating for us. Let us know if you wanna or not to dating about us in the comments down below. Now let's continue with the reaction. Okay.
Adventures, including our upcoming fashion show, Creators in Fashion, that will bring.
I'm obsessed with this Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash. And it's 10 times more vitamin B3 complex. Just one shower transforms my skin from dry to intensely moisturized. For me, it's only Olay Moisturizing Body Wash.
Fashion show, Creators in Fashion, that will bring together tons of your favorite creators in one room to put on a one-of-a-kind, never-before-seen show for you. Seriously, it is.
That's true. Okay.
To blow. Nice. Your mind. I am so excited. And the best way to keep on top of what's happening is to subscribe so you don't miss any of our exciting updates that are coming up super soon. The next razor on our list is one you are likely very familiar with, or at least familiar with their marketing.
I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire.
Introducing Venus from Gillette.
Yes, today we are unboxing an icon, a monument of shaving fame, the Gillette Venus razor, specifically the Comfort Glide. There are actually dozens of versions of this razor out there, but we wanted
that's true.
to test one that showcased the best Venus had to offer. This one had everything. 5 blades, a comfort grip handle, and moisture bars made to keep your skin safe and smooth. This thing wasn't just a razor, it was an experience. It comes in this lovely pink package.
Yeah.
And it comes with multiple heads. I like the little packages that they come in. It means that the moisture bar is getting moisturized and staying moisturized. It's honestly like a very Disney princess experience, which I'm not mad at. I like being a princess every now and then. I prefer to be a queen, but I'll take princess. I think that's who actually wins. This whole shindig is our shaving queen. Young and sweet. Only 5 blades. I am not the musical protege. My lack of singing skills aside, it was time to put the razor to the test. Immediately, I found that the Venus had a smooth glide, but I struggled with the, what were they called, Dan?
Slidey gripper guiding flaps. I hated that term. I hated all of that.
And now it's immortalized forever. While I did eventually find my groove with the flaps, the group results were a little mixed.
Wow, that's so smooth.
Okay.
Feels so comfortable. Doesn't even feel like there's a razor.
It's really nothing to write home about. It's not like horrible like the disposable or like really great like the one blade. It's not difficult to use at all. Like a 14-year-old and up can pick this up and just start shaving their legs.
Felt like a better experience. As it says on the package, it glides. It just like smoothly just went up and removed all the hair. It was super easy. It felt like butter.
And for Brianna, this razor had an extra benefit.
I have sensitive skin, so I've always itched a lot after shaving my legs. I still am having some itching, but it's not nearly as bad as it has been the last few times that I've done this, so overall today's a pretty good win for me.
As a card-carrying member of the Sensitive Skin Club, I second that. And it brought out another first for me in this episode, choosing the shaving oil over the shaving cream. The mix of this moisture head with the shaving oil really felt like a winning combination. It felt like they were working together to really give me that slip and
I kinda want to know, comment down below if you ever save yourself just for fun. Okay.
slide experience down my leg. What everyone wants to do when they talk about their legs. They want it to just be a slip and slide. I wasn't the only shaving cream stand to
Slip, slide, upside down.
switch sides this round either, which made me wonder, maybe the best lubricant isn't a simple answer or not a solo answer. What if the type of razor could influence our preference? I needed more data, but what I did know was that my skin was having a reaction to the constant shaving. I have like my normal shaving bumps up here towards the tops of my thighs where my skin is extra tender. Really, I'm just having the same shaving experience I normally do whenever I shave a lot in quick succession. I had hoped that the exfoliant
Mm-hmm. Okay.
was going to be a big help for this. And while it wasn't working for me, it did seem to be for a few other people. Both Brianna and Asia reported their exfoliated legs and having less irritation. And at halfway through our experiment, I was still feeling optimistic that we'd find our perfect shaving formula. With each round, I've been able to pinpoint the pain points, pun intended, of each combination. But we still haven't uncovered the full picture. Speaking of bigger picture, our fourth razor was going to answer a question that I carried with me for years. Are men's razors actually better than women's? You see, I didn't pick that 5-bladed Venus razor just for giggles. I had a plan. We were going to test it against the big boy, the one that almost took the crown in the shaving beard episode, the Gillette Fusion 5, and test it against its female counterpart. It's the same brand, the same flexible head, and presumably the same 5 blades as our Venus razor. So it should give us the same kind of shave, right? We're about to find out once and for all. Right away, what stood out to me was the lack of moisture flaps. Where the Venus had all those bells and whistles, this one was back to basics. And I liked it. It glided across my skin and all around the difficult areas of my ankles and knees. If I had to call it something, it would be familiar. More like the razors I'd used over the past few years. Asia was feeling it too.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's exactly what I use. I use the Harry's 5-bladed razor. This is exactly like it.
But was it doing a better job than the Venus razor? No, not really.
It was pretty similar to the previous razor, razor number 3, in that it had the 5 blades. I liked the last razor, so I guess I like this too. The only difference is this one doesn't have like the double moisturizer bar.
And right there was the big difference, the experience factor that we talked about earlier. The Venus wanted us to feel wrapped in a cocoon of moisturized safety, while the Fusion 5 was just there to get the job done.
Soy Stephanie, actriz y socia de Walmart Plus.
Soy su doble. Tengo Prime.
Yo obtengo los mismos grandes beneficios por menos. Sí, obtengo entrega.
Moisturized safety, while the Fusion 5 was just there to get the job done. Even Dan, who still used the Fusion 5 for his beard after that first episode, couldn't deny the difference.
It was the Gillette 5-blade that was really more meant for facial hair for men. I gotta say, after using that one, clearly the Venus, I'm moving that up to a 5. Confetti, fireworks. Congratulations, Venus.
Despite that, overall we had a really good experience with the Fusion 5.
Nice. Good shave. Very good. Very clean.
Looking at our post-shave results, it did its job, but not any better than the Venus. Putting those two side by side, they look about the same, so really that experience is what made the difference. And the bigger thing that this round continued to prove was that the exfoliant was the true MVP. Not to the shaving, but to the long-term comfort.
What? Yep.
Of people prone to razor bumps and ingrown hairs.
Like I continue saying, the exfoliated side, my strawberry legs are starting to go down. I think you can really tell, like in this area, you can see a big difference in this leg, at least to me, so that's crazy.
Clearly, we were on to something big. Entering into our final day, our spirits were high. Each razor we tried
Stray
since that
Kid Sliver
unfortunate
Zero
first
joined.
round brought
Okay,
something
well,
new
come
and
on.
exciting to the table. Moisture strips, precision heads, and yes, a shave so close it could make you cry.
How
And I
is
had high
everyone
hopes that our
doing
final
today?
razor would
Tonight.
top them all. Why? Because it was an ode to the man, the myth, the Matt Pat. The man who fought the good fight to clear the name of electric razors everywhere. Can his legacy live on in the form of our final razor? The electric razor for women. Looks a bit like a dune sandworm, if you can really see that. I'm starting to think that maybe we didn't find the best version of an electric razor for legs. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to electric razors for legs, the options are severely limited. As of right now, it's not that big of an industry. And when it comes to cost effectiveness, we went with one that we thought was versatile. But I think we might have made a bit of a oopsie. But hey, I've been surprised before on this channel, so let's give it a fair shot, everybody.
How does it work? Please explain.
You can't really tell if there's a circular motion or straight up motion. If there's written instructions, it just press Who's got time for that?
I was having the same problem. No matter how hard I pressed, the motion I used, nothing was working. I was starting to think we'd all made a horrible mistake trying to take on Matt's legacy, but I couldn't give up. I needed to make it work. So I did what theorists do best. Try and try again. Since the lubricants were only getting in the way, I washed off my legs and tried just using water. Did I mention that I have a fear of mixing water and electricity? No? No, that's cool. It's cool. And totally not relevant anyway. And since the water only still wasn't working, I had one last thing to try. One that I hoped would yield at least some kind of result. Dry shaving. I know. We learned in
Pretty sure a lot of people have a fear.
Shaving 101 that
Pretty sure a lot of people have that fear of mixing water and electricity. Comment down below. If anyone does, let us know.
dry shaving is a cardinal sin. But I was desperate to find some kind of result, make something work. And lo and behold, it did. Sort of. While I couldn't say it was a successful attempt, it did start to remove some hair from my leg. And I was ready to take this as a win until I checked on everyone else.
No, just it did not do the job at all. I'm still prickly. I know that I said that the worst razor was the disposable. It at least did its job.
I felt like today took a lot longer than many other days, which I do not appreciate. This didn't work out for me today. I don't
Yeah. That will happen.
feel like.
See, but it's not getting anything. I feel prickly still.
Even Jessica, who so far had always found a
Hey, it is what it is. No count.
silver lining for each and every razor, couldn't find one here.
I'm gonna be quite honest. I don't know if I've said this yet about a razor, but I didn't really enjoy using this specific razor.
Looking at our final results, I couldn't deny the writing on the bathroom wall. This was a true failure. Worse than the disposable razor that took out Vance on day one. You know, we really should send him like a gift basket of Band-Aids and Neosporin after this.
Yeah, maybe so. That would be nice.
Someone make a note. So, after all the blood, bathwater, and tears, where do we stand? What is the best way to shave your legs? Well, I want to go back to that 3-step breakdown we started with at the top of the episode and go through them one by one, starting with the razor itself. While we may have had some better luck with a different brand, the Sandmouth electric razor was an instant and complete failure. I'm sorry, Matt, but your legacy of electric razor supremacy here on Style Theory has ended today. And that's not the only long-term relationship coming to a close. I have to say, after this episode, I am a changed woman. At the start, I was all in on the disposable razor. I can't in good conscience stand here and say that that is my favorite, or that I recommend it to anyone at all. In fact, I need to take a second here to say something to that disposable razor. Come here. Come close. Hey, disposable razor. We've known each other for a long time, and, well, this is hard, but I think we should see other razors. It's not me, it's you. No, really, it's you. You hurt my friends, you hurt the environment, and honestly, some of these razors just give me that spark that I've been missing. I hope we can still be friends. Nope, they're gone. Okay, so much for an amicable breakup. So, which razor was the best
Wow. That's tough.
of the best? After reviewing all the hours of footage, crunching all the data, I can definitively say that the Kitsch Safety Razor universally gave us the closest and smoothest shave across the board. But it did have its drawbacks. Most of us had never used a safety razor in our lives, and we ended up with a few battle wounds because of it. However, with a little time and practice, we'd likely be able to cut down on those cuts over time while maintaining smooth results. And the bigger bonus? More than any razor, it took longer for the hair to grow back after shaving with the safety razor than any of our other razors, meaning we'd actually be able to go longer between each shave while still maintaining fairly smooth legs. So congratulations.
This holiday season, all you need for Christmas.
Kitchen, the
Is
safety
to
razor.
skip the
Maybe next
cloth.
time we'll be sponsored. In second
All I need for Christmas is to skip that so no cap.
Place, we have the Gillette Venus Comfort Glide. In terms of appeal, it did well holding its own with little to no lubricant.
I feel like you could probably just like dip this in water and shave comfortably.
It was a really good option for novice shavers like Dan.
I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, a little bit more educated. I did, in fact, gain enough experience and level up.
And people with sensitive skin like me and Brianna. So if you are just starting out on your shaving journey, it's the best of the bunch for keeping user error to a minimum. And rounding out third place is our manly, masculine Gillette Fusion 5. It can do the job just fine, but it couldn't break into the top 2 of our experiment when put against 2 razors built to conquer the winding landscape of our legs. Then there were our lubricants, and here we actually have a tie between our top 2 options. No, not you, soap. Get out of here. Go on. No, it came down to our shaving gel and our shaving oil. They both had pros and cons, and in the end, it split our 6 shavers right down the middle. On Team Oil, you had Jessica, Brianna, and Asia, who liked that the oil left their skin feeling more moisturized long after they finished shaving.
Well, that's nice.
And the thin consistency meant it didn't clog up the razor. On the other end, you had Team Cream, a very unfortunate name, made up of myself, Dan, and Jerica. Woo, Team Theorist! We liked how the shaving cream created a protective barrier between the blade and our skin, which led us to getting less cuts. And it also left us feeling soft and moisturized. Clearly, the big winner of this round, moisturizer. And that actually brings me to the final piece of our shaving puzzle, part 3 of our 3-step formula, the exfoliant. Throughout the week, it was clear early on that the exfoliant wasn't doing too much to give us a closer shave, but I don't think that means we should cut it from the routine. Over the 2.5 weeks of the experiment, we saw our participants' skin change before our eyes, and all of it thanks to the exfoliant.
I think it helps with when the hair grows back. It doesn't feel like it's embedded or getting ingrowns into my leg.
The exfoliated side, my strawberry legs are starting to go down. I think you can really tell. You can see a big difference in this leg.
The only thing I felt was different was the after effect of it, which my left leg was so much more smooth than my right leg.
It turns out that a smooth, painless shave isn't just about the tools you use, but the way you care for your skin. The exfoliant had helped clear away dead skin, bacteria, and other buildup, making a cleaner surface and leaving less of a chance for infection and inflammation. That, coupled with the fact that the moisturizer in our lubricants clearly reigns supreme, means that treating your skin well, that's the true secret to keeping the pain out of your shaving routine. Man, I wish we had taken this experiment out of the shower as well and added some lotion into the mix. I guess we'll just have to add it to the list for later. Over the last year, we've been dissecting, bisecting, and uncovering all there is to know about your hair. And today, we're answering the biggest question you never knew to ask. What is your hair type? Is it curly, straight, wavy, or gasp, all of the above? I've always just known I have curly hair, but I don't really know what type of curly hair. But I think that there are multiple. Yeah, that is possible. We've talked a lot about the ins and outs of hair on this channel, and one thing that's always remained consistent is that no one's hair is exactly the same. And that's because hair is complicated.
Yeah, that's true.
There are 12 major hair types, each with its own specific needs. But don't worry, theorists. While that may seem overwhelming, I've made an easy 4-step guide on how to diagnose any head of hair. By the end of this episode, you will be able to name not only your overall hair type, but your shape, texture, density, and porosity, which is how
Good night.
porous your hair is. Weird word, I know. Those are the 4 key things you need to know to finally get your perfect hair. By knowing all of this, you will know how often you need to wash your hair, how much moisture it needs, and more, no matter how you choose to style it, or not style it. I don't know, I don't judge. And theorists, if you want to get an A on this test, you'll need to do it along with me and leave your results in the comments.
Okay.
Your hair type is made up of 2 main parts, the number and the letter. The number tells you what your hair shape is, while the letter is the texture. So we're going to start with numero uno, the shape. Hair can typically be sorted into 4 main shapes: straight, wavy, curly, and coily. These
That's true.
are represented by the numbers 1 through 4, respectively. All of these shapes come with different pros and cons. But before we can talk about that, we need to know which one you are. To do that, we are going to have to accept the truth of one unfortunate fact. Beauty is pain. Theorists, to really understand our hair, we need to pick a sacrifice and pull out a strand of our own hair to act as the representative of our hair collective. Or a few strands, if you, like me, think that you may have more than one shape going on your noggin. I have a whole, biome of different hair types living on my head. Where my fellow Medusas at? Nice. We know no snake is the same, but really, you can have more than one shape on your head. So, if you think that may be the case for you, pluck a hair from each section. For me, that's the top, sides, and underneath. Ow, ew, ow. It's fine, it's fine. Beauty is fine. Okay, now that we have our strands, lay them out on a flat surface. I'm using a paper towel because it's hard to see black hair on a dark surface like my table. If your hair
Yeah.
is flat with no curves, you're a type 1, straight as a board. Follically speaking, at least. This is your Renee Rapp, your Lana Condor, and Nicole Kidman. Lately, anyway. It's important to note for these references that we have to base them on the photos available to us. And sometimes, photos lie. Styled hair can look one way, even if that hair type is...
I mean, that's true. Photos. That's true. They do lie sometimes.
Another. Just ask my coworkers, who were shocked the first time I walked into work without straightening my hair. Jaws were dropped, y'all. So while all the examples we show will be accurate to the type, just know that some may be styled to look that way.
When you're in a car accident and there's multiple vehicles in play, sometimes you have to figure out who to go after. If multiple drivers are at fault, a lot of times you can go after 2 separate insurance companies and 2 separate insurance policies.
While all the examples we show will be accurate to the type, just know that some may be styled to look that way. Type 1, or straight hair, tends to be viewed as the easiest hair type, though it does have its own issues. Since this hair type is so smooth, it's easy for your natural oils, also known as sebum, to travel from root to tip so fast your head might as well be a slip and slide. This means that you should likely avoid products that claim to add extra moisture. But your worst enemy, my type 1 besties? Heat and brushes. Type 1 hair is prone to breakage and tangles, meaning you need to be extra careful with your styling tools as to not cause excess damage to your already very fragile hair. If your strands have a soft S shape instead, then you have type 2 hair, wavy. Like the ocean, your hair rises and falls in waves. This is where my hair falls, or rather, some of my hair. So looking at this hair, we have one that is definitely like a wave that is starting to come up off the paper, one that is just straight wavy, and one that is an actual coil, which tells me that somewhere on my head, going all abouts in here, you have some type 2 and some type 3 hair. Besides myself, or part of my head at least, others that fall into this category are people with hair that ranges from Emma Stone to Millie Bobby Brown to even Lorde. That is a wide range, I know, but we will get to that in our next test. For now, remember that your hair falls between extremes. It is highly prone to heat damage like type 1, but is usually drier and needs a little more added moisture like our later hair types. But if your hair tends to be straighter towards the roots, it may be better for you to keep that moisture towards the ends of your hair to avoid buildup. Now, I did say that was only one of my hair types, didn't I? So what if your hair starts to loop over itself in a tighter S pattern, creating more of a 3D effect? Then you have type 3 curly hair. Think of this as the Hot Wheels racetrack of hair. You've got that loop in you. This is likely where our perfect hair queen Zendaya fits in, at least according to most photos of her natural hair. It's also my missing type. One is a full-on curly Q coil. Yeah, we're definitely getting some 3D effect on some of these. The actual coily section is on this part of my head. I am the world's weirdest chia pet, is what I'm learning. If you're a type 3, then you have the exact opposite issues of our type 1 friends. Rather than worrying about too much oil building up, you will need to add extra oil back into your hair in order to maintain those luscious locks. Which means that we type 3s don't need to wash our hair nearly as often as type 1 or type 2. Typically, type 3s can go 3 to 4 days without shampooing, and sometimes it can go as long as a week. That's actually a pretty typical range for me, whether I'm wearing my hair naturally or have it straightened. But it can be a little bit of a trial and error game to find that sweet spot. So to find yours, try going a few days without washing your hair. And once you start to notice your hair is looking extra greasy or dirty, you've found that golden ratio for your hair. And finally, we have the queens of curly coils, our type 4s. If you look at your strand of hair and it has that curl pattern we mentioned for our type 3s, but to a more extreme degree with those curls starting to form round or zigzag patterns, you are definitely a type 4. This is usually your natural hair, as seen on people like Lupita Nyong'o, Willow Smith, or AJ from our conditioner episode.
If my hair doesn't get moisture, it becomes dry, brittle, hard to manage.
If type 1 was afraid of oil, type 4 is giving it an open invitation to the function. Of all 4 hair shapes, type 4 can go the longest without washing their hair, which makes sense considering shampooing your hair removes all of those essential oils. This can range from 7 to 10 days to 2 to 3 weeks between shampooings, which, jealous, I would love to go that long without washing my hair. I hate having wet hair. This sounds like my dream. To keep your very sensitive hair from drying out, the name of the game is moisture, moisture, and more moisture.
Yeah.
I have to actually add oil into my hair care routine. If it doesn't have a moisturizing effect to it, I don't use it.
Castor, jojoba, and argan oil are great options that may also provide other benefits to your gorgeous mane.
But that's only part of the equation. We need to know the rest.
Theorists, remember, the number is only half of your hair type. A true hair type is made up of a number and a letter, a shape, and a texture. Even with your type number, your hair can still be different from your fellow type 1s or type 4s. In our office, multiple Team Theorist members have type 2 and type 3 hair. But that doesn't make us
Okay.
the same subtype. That is the letter of the equation that we are looking to solve for. And that letter stands for texture. Your texture represents how fine or coarse your individual hair strands are, which is the fancy cosmetology way of saying if you have thin or thick hair strands. You could have curly hair that's really thin or straight hair that's super coarse. There are 3 main texture subtypes, A, B, and C. A is for fine, B is for medium, and C is for coarse. This is like a really weird Sesame Street, which means it's time for another test. And another
I mean, it does kind of turn out good.
strand of hair. Lucky for us, we just harvested some fresh hair for our last test that we can reuse.
To find our coarseness, we have to take our strands of hair and rub them between our fingers and see how they feel. Now, if you don't feel anything, that means you have very fine hair. If you feel it, like really feel it rub between your fingers, you have some coarse hair.
If your hair feels like it falls in the middle of that, you have type B, medium hair. If you're still not quite sure after that test, you can also compare your hair strand to a piece of thread. Average thread is typically similar to type B hair, so you can place where your hair lands depending on if your hair is thicker, thinner, or the same as the thread. But does the texture of your hair really change how you should take care of it? Well, yes. Type A hair is very fine and delicate. This means that it can be more prone to breakage, so keep it moisturized and don't overbrush. If you have straight fine hair or type 1A, you likely want to keep your ends moisturized to prevent breakage while steering clear of having too much buildup on your roots. Type A hair can get weighed down easily by heavier products or using too much products and start looking greasy real fast, so go easy on the leave-in conditioner. You'll also want to gravitate towards products that promise to protect your hair using proteins and amino acids. This can help strengthen those fine hairs and prevent breakage. On the other end of the spectrum, you have me, the big old C.
I have extremely coarse hair.
Due to the hair's coarseness, it can be a lot easier for your hair to get tangled and snagged, so be careful brushing. A detangler or a wet brush may suit you better than a normal brush, as well as products that specifically target coarse hair. Those tend to contain more helpful oils for our thickum strands. And unlike our type A friends, we don't really need to find a protein-rich shampoo or conditioner since our thick, coarse hair is already super strong.
You could build a bridge out of this hair and it would not fall down. That is an Amy fact. I feel like Rapunzel and I could go head to head.
I'm in industry.
Head on hair strength battles. And don't think I forgot you type Bs. You lucky sons of guns can keep doing what you're doing. You don't need to do anything extra to maintain healthy hair outside of products that may suit your letter type. And after all of that, you have finally found your hair type. But wait, the episode isn't over yet? There's more to know? Yes, loyal theorists, there is. As I stated at the top of the episode, hair is complicated.
Walmart Plus Assist offers 50% off a membership if you qualify for SNAP, Medicaid, or more, which means you get benefits like free delivery. So you can spend more time with your princess and less time running errands. 50% off Walmart Plus, 100% on moments that matter. Who knew?
As I stated at the top of the episode, hair is complicated. There are two other factors that play a huge role in the health of your hair. So prepare for a Style Theory speed round in 3, 2, 1. For our speed round, we will be conducting our final 2 mini tests to finally solve our perfect hair equation. First up, the density test. When a person tells you that you have thick or thin hair, they aren't usually talking about its coarseness. They are actually talking about density. Your hair density is how many hairs you have making a home on top of your head. The average person has between 90 and 150,000 individual hairs, but even that can vary wildly based on different variables like your genetics or your age. But hey, that's what extensions are for, right? Anyway, to find out our hair density, we don't have to do anything crazy like count each strand of hair individually one by one. Instead, we can use the ponytail test. It's super easy, barely an inconvenience. Start by gathering your hair into a ponytail. Then it's time to break out the measuring tape to wrap around the base of our pony. If you don't have one, you can also use some string and a ruler. I'll give you a little sneak peek at this. Just by measuring with my fingers, we're looking at that. Let's get a measurement of this. Have a lovely tape measurer. I am making sure to wrap around the hair and not the hair tie. So for this thickness, we have 12 centimeters or about 4.5-ish inches. We'll have to see how thick that is. If my record of going through hair ties after like 2 uses is anything to say, she a thick pony. Theorists, she really is one thick pony.
Yeah, that's true.
A circumference of less than 2 inches is considered low density, with 2 to 3 inches being average. And if you have more than 4 inches, you have very high density hair. I think I can safely say I fit into that last category, but you'll have to let me know your results in the comments. If your hair's too short for this test, don't worry. I always have a backup. And this one will need a mirror. Take a look at your scalp in that mirror and see if you can see your scalp without having to move your hair out of the way. If you can, it's low density. If you need to move your hair a bit to find your scalp, then it's medium. And if you have to send out a search party to see if you even have a scalp hiding under all that hair, then it is high density. But what's that all mean?
Yeah. You might as well do it to find out.
Low density hair should avoid super heavy products like oils and creams. And if you want your hair to look fuller, look for shampoos that focus on volume, as well as dry shampoos and even some mousses. Meanwhile, high density hair may need more products to get whatever styling effect they're aiming for. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you've likely seen my bathroom full of products. So you know that's true. What can I say? More hair needs more products. It's just girl math. As for our medium density hair, you keep living your perfect, easy hair care life. And the last piece of our perfect hair equation is all about the water. This is our porous test. And yes, I know, when most of you hear the word porous, you think about this guy and how absorbent and yellow and porous is he. But your hair is also a sponge. Sort of. Your individual strands of hair are covered in cuticles, also called scales. These open and close based on things like temperature and chemicals that you apply. However, even without those added elements, every person's hair has a specific amount of opening and closing that they're prone to. If your hair is more porous, those scales are more open than average, allowing for more air and moisture to pass through, similar to the holes of a sponge. If your scales are more closed, then your hair is more likely to hold on to the moisture, like a really stubborn sponge. I don't know, this sponge metaphor is getting weird. We can find out the porosity of our hair with our final test of the day. Now, I have my bowl of water here, and we're gonna see if my hair
sinks, or swims.
If your hair floats, then your scales are more closed, meaning you have low porosity hair. If your hair sinks like Sonic the Hedgehog in a water level, then you have high porosity hair. And if it sinks but it does it very slowly, you have medium porosity hair.
She's floating. She is floating. What a good little snake.
Low porosity hair like mine means we have to fight hard to get moisture into our hair. But once it's there, it stays there. So while you do want to add moisture via products, do only as much as your hair type needs. Because once the oils are in there, your hair is gonna hold on to it and hold on to it tight. That means if you overload it, it feels real greasy real fast. This also means that our hair takes much longer to dry than someone with high porosity hair. Yippee! Speaking of our porous pals, they are the exact opposite. High porosity hair tends to suck up moisture like a sponge. But that moisture will leave as fast as it comes. This means that without...
Yeah, well, technically SpongeBob is a sponge, so...
Adding moisture to your hair can easily become dry and brittle. And high porosity hair should especially avoid using too much heat, as that can only serve to dry out and damage your hair even faster. So, how do we put this all together? Well, as we said many times this episode, hair is complicated, even more so than I was expecting. But now you have the perfect equation to solve for almost any hair problem you might come across. Take a look at your answers to today's tests. How do they overlap, and how does your specific hair differ from your besties? For me, the type 2-3C with dense, very low porous hair, it means I need to focus in on moisture and be careful of using too much heat, and maybe ditch the brush depending on the day. So tell me in the comments what works for you. And you know what? We might even test your hair care routines and hacks in a future episode. And even better, next time you get served an ad for a product that claims it can cure your hair problems, you'll be able to tell if that's true or just one big hairy lie. We've shown you how to grow it, shave it, and now it's time to tackle the...
Your kitchen isn't the only thing working overtime this holiday season. With all the cozy chaos of holiday baking, it smells like magic, and you should too. That's why this holiday season...
Grow it, shave it, and now it's time to tackle the...
Michael for no one it is. Get this
most important
step,
washing it. It's something that everyone does, but did you know that not everyone does it the same way? In fact, people have some pretty hot takes on the right way to wash your hair. So much so that multiple people have asked me to make this episode because they believe that conditioner is a waste of money. Which, I'm gonna plant my flag on the other side of this argument right now because I heavily disagree. My hair would be a bird's nest without conditioner. However, I am nothing if not willing to let the data speak for itself, which means it's time for another StyleTheory shower experiment. Yep, we're back in the shower on camera, folks. Whee! But to do this experiment right, I needed a lot of hair to help me out. 8 heads of it to be exact, including me. Why do we have so many people? To get the widest range of hair data that we possibly can, with as many unique experiences as possible. And each of us entered into this experiment with different ideas about what the optimal hair care routine should include.
I use moisture enriching shampoo, moisture enriching conditioner. I use mousse that's moisture enriching. Everything I do is to add more moisture into my dry head. And yet, over the course of this week, I'm not going to be allowed to do that.
I don't really need to do much with moisturizing. To be honest, I do the most typical man thing possible.
If my hair doesn't get moisture, it becomes dry, brittle, hard to manage. I have to actually add oil into my hair care routine. If it doesn't have a moisturizing effect to it, I don't use it.
Normally, I don't actually have a normal hair care routine. I know that's kind of sacrilege. I tend to lean towards the 2-in-1, 3-in-1 kind of packs, just for convenience.
Seems like between all of our participants, we can be divided into 2 different teams. Team Hair Care and Team Got No Cares. But who is right?
That's true.
Well, to find out if you actually need conditioner and, more importantly, which hair washing method actually gives you the best results, we're going to test 4 different methods, including one that caused the biggest shock to my system on this channel so far. We are hitting the ground running and starting with the most controversial method on this list, shampoo only. We'll be using the Pantene Pro V Classic Clean line because it had the most wide range of items available. Team Hair Care was not looking forward to round 1.
No, the amount of people who have told me specifically that they do not use conditioner, flames on the side of my face. Why are you doing that to your hair?
Well, past Amy, you're gonna find out firsthand because we are about to enter the monetization-friendly shower zone. Ooh, wet clothes. Monetization-friendly shower zone. While you're watching us lather in our shampoo, let's talk about what the heck shampoo is even doing to our hair. Our hair naturally produces an oily substance called sebum. This natural oil binds to your hair strands by attaching to a protein called keratin. This process leaves your hair feeling soft and moisturized until there's too much of it and it leaves your hair looking greasy. This is why we wash our hair, to remove that excess buildup as well as any other oils and dirt that may have gotten tangled in there. But as you might remember from some of our previous episodes, oil and water don't exactly mix. To get clean, we need to add a surfactant or a soap to grab up all that gunk and wash it away. That's where the shampoo comes in. In shampoo, the surfactant you usually find is either sodium lauryl sulfate, also known as SLS, or sodium laureth sulfate, aka SLES. Our shampoo for today happens to use both, which don't get me wrong, is great for getting clean. But when you remove all of that natural oil, it can leave your hair feeling, well, you'll see.
I don't like it. I felt like I was pulling out more of my hair when I was trying to get my fingers through it, and it just feels a little stiff.
I hate it.
This is a disaster. We have been forsaken. Nothing is sacred anymore.
Same, Nicole. Hard same. However, over on Team Got No Cares, things weren't looking too bad.
I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with the volume that I'm getting right now with my hair. I'm starting to wonder if my shampoo that I have been using is the problem, because this is fairly silky smooth, and this
That be no good.
is just the shampoo.
I would say this is pretty standard for how my hair feels out of a shower. My hair tends to not get tangled or dry too much.
Though one member was a little bit on the fence.
It did feel really soft, but it gets a little coarse once it's dried out a bit, and yeah, it's not my favorite. I'm hoping it gets better from here.
Oh, don't you worry, Casey. We're about to find out.
Welcome back to the bathroom, where we are about to wash our hair with shocker conditioner. I'm so excited. I would like to thank the Academy. I would like to thank myself for giving me this conditioner, and Theorist for paying for it because we all had to use the same conditioner.
And Theorists, my hair was in desperate need of some moisture because 2 days later, it was feeling like a frizzy, brittle nest.
That's that dry, crunchy, like crispy sound that I love not having my hair sound like, which is what I think the conditioner is gonna do. So let's go shower. Shall we? Because, you know, here in Style Theory, showering is a group project.
And while
That's true.
we enjoy that sweet, sweet conditioner,
Yeah.
about to drop some bars on why it is such a vital part of so many hair care routines. Remember how in the last round,
What is it about Chamberlain University that makes our nursing students so successful? Our culture of support gives every student peace of mind. Care is
No.
drop some bars on why it is such a vital part of so many hair care routines. Remember how in the last round we talked about how shampoo cleanses your hair of its natural oils? The ones that make your hair feel naturally moisturized? Well, conditioners are here to help add some of that oil back in. Think of it like a lotion, but for your hair. They contain ingredients called quaternary ammonium salts, or quats for short. Much like your natural oils, quats also bind to that keratin protein that makes up your hair strands, and it mimics the moisturizing effects of that natural oil. While that's what I and the rest of Team Hair Care love about conditioners, it's also what other people really hate. It leaves them with a feeling of an oily film on their hair. It's actually the common argument I hear against conditioners, that it just makes their hair feel dirty again. Well, lucky for them, some conditioners, like the one we're using today, use an alternate conditioning agent known as dimethyl.
Also, just to let you know, all the original links to the original videos that we are reacting to, like always, the links always will be in the description down below. Go look at the original video if you don't want to see our reaction to the video. So yeah, just to let you know. And yeah,
Dimethylamine, or SAPDMA, neither of which are easy to say, but go off. Anyway, stearinimidopropyl dimethylamine is meant to be less filmy, and so theoretically makes your hair feel less greasy. Now, for our Team Hair Care participants, this might mean that this conditioner doesn't feel quite as moisturizing as ones they're typically used to using, especially if they're like me and use one that specifically targets adding moisture back into your hair on top of its normal conditioning agents. Either way, it shouldn't make any difference in our results today. And let me tell you, at this point, anything was going to be better than shampoo, which gave us nothing at all. Look me in the eyes and tell me that this is not better than what I got with shampoo only. Look at the shine, look at the soft,
it kinda is better, okay.
Look at the structure. Look how it doesn't look like it's growing out of my head and I stuck my finger in a light socket. So it doesn't feel like rough. It doesn't feel tangled like it did back with just the shampoo.
Yeah, it kinda does feel like your stick. It kinda does look like you're sticking your head in a light socket, but without the electricity. Without the electricity, no good. Let's go.
So it just feels normal. This feels way softer. From all the way from like my roots, ultimately I feel much more comfortable in this hair. I feel like I can touch it. I feel like it's soft, which is very nice.
I have some natural curl retention. As you can see, this is more of like the kind of Corbin blue that I'm looking for when I use my other products. I did really enjoy the curl patterns this time versus the first time with just the shampoo.
Heck, even Dan of Team Got No Cares was seeing the light.
My hair, one, smells great. It smells wonderful. Two, it feels so good. Conditioner really just kind of takes my hair and just like bumps it up another notch.
I think we just made Dan an honorary member of Team Hair Care. However, not everyone was feeling the moist fantasy.
Overall, I'm not totally loving the way this feels compared to yesterday. It's a slight difference. I don't think it's a humongous difference, but I do feel my hair a little bit harder to get through, and it feels very uneven.
It's very poofed out. I just feel like a sponge. It feels even poofier than it was with the last wash. I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Not gonna lie, their reactions were hard to wrap my head around. What could cause this huge divide? Well, they happen to be 2 of our 3 participants to have short hair. And while AJ was firmly on Team Moisture, they had a different story. You see, the sebaceous glands that produce that natural hair oil are located on your scalp. And that oil travels from your scalp up the length of your hair to moisturize it. If your hair is shorter, then it doesn't have as far to go. In fact, it can start to build up almost immediately after washing. It's why so many people with short hair need to wash their hair more often. And adding in a ton of conditioner can make that build-up process even faster. On the other hand, or other scalp, I guess, having longer hair means that the oil has a much harder time reaching the ends of your hair. This can lead to breakage and those dreaded split ends, which is exactly what the conditioner is trying to fix. In fact, if you look at the instructions, it tells you to focus on the ends of your hair, not your scalp or your your roots where that buildup starts to happen. With short hair, your hair pretty much just is root and end, making it easier to moisturize with the oils that your head naturally makes and not needing a lot of excess moisture added in. But for the vast majority of us, the difference between this round and the shampoo only round was like night and day, which was a big win for our conditioner.
If it doesn't do this, I don't want it.
Except that the two-product method isn't the only way to get both shampoo and conditioner into one wash. Which brings us to round number 3. Now that we've proven that conditioner is a vital part for many people's hair care routine, the next question that we have to answer is, do we actually need separate products? Or could we save time and money by putting them into the same bottle? While most of Team Hair Care had never tried a 2-in-1 product, a few of our other participants were already very familiar.
I believe that was the last thing that I was using on the regular.
This is basically what I swear by, is that the 2-in-1 is the only way to go. However, I don't think it's necessarily because it's the best product. It's more of a matter of convenience. I just like having everything in one bottle.
This is what I used to use on a regular basis for about 28 years of my life. I was a simple man, and I wanted things to be simple.
The simple life. Listen, if we can streamline the road to perfect hair, I am all for it. But as we all readied ourselves for our next round of washing, Asia brought up a really good point.
It's 2024. Why do we still have 2-in-1s? I don't understand the 2-in-1 thing. Like, I get when you're in a time crunch or you're like traveling or like camping and you don't have enough space for 2 things, but like, I still don't understand the science behind it. How can it clean and condition?
I'm glad you asked. It turns out that the 2-in-1 is not just a mix of the previous 2 products in the same bottle. Shocking, I know. While normal conditioners use those SAPDMAs or quats like we mentioned earlier, this product used completely different conditioning ingredients. And that's not even the wildest part going on here. As ingredients are listed on the label in order based on how much of it is in the product, we can clearly see that there are way more shampooing agents in this than there are conditioning ones, which essentially makes a 2-in-1 product a shampoo with a itty-bitty teeny tiny bit of conditioner in it. But can a little bit of conditioner actually make a huge difference? Well, that answer is a little bit complicated to say the least.
This is Piper, a tidy queen. Oh, clever. And organizing is her self-care. Because everything in its place.
Huge difference? Well, that answer is a little bit complicated to say the least.
We have finished our first ever time using the 2-in-1 shampoo. And I'm a little surprised. It's not that bad. Visually, it's pretty good. Touch-wise, it's okay. It still feels a little crunchier than normal, but it's honestly not that bad.
Well, it's dry. I don't know what to say. This is awful. So, as you can see, it's dried a little insane. It feels okay. The ends are still really tangly. It does feel softer than the previous methods, which I'm shocked.
It feels just a little bit better than what the shampoo did. Like, it definitely feels like it conditioned
Well, that's good at least.
Better. I feel like it's a little bit even more poofy than the others. I have to make a devil's bargain. Do I want soft and poofy or not as poofy and more coarse with my hair?
The Pantene 2-in-1 works just as well as separately. I would say that if you're trying to cut costs, if you're trying to cut time, do the 2-in-1.
Yes, despite each of the previous rounds showing almost a unanimous result between the 2 different teams, this time there was no correlation between who had a positive or a negative result. Length, structure, dryness, the results were all over the place. And the reason seems to come down to how the 2-in-1 is formulated, mixed with how each person's unique hair absorbs that itty-bitty teeny bit of moisture. It's likely that Rachel, with the worst results out of everyone, had the driest hair, which meant
Yeah, that's true.
it needed a bigger boost of moisture, while others, like AJ and I, were able to get just enough to be passable, at least in the short term.
I feel like this is a good option when I travel. I think long term I would see it dry out a lot more because it does feel drier
than normal. But theorists, all this time we've been focusing only on one part of the equation, the products. We haven't considered the other key ingredient until now. For our final round, we are putting the water itself to the test with what I'm calling the hot and cold method. Here's how it's gonna go. We're going to be using the same products from round 2, but this time we are going to shampoo our hair in hot water. And then when it's time to condition, we will switch to cold. I did read this in a magazine when I was like 13 years old, and I never tried it because cold showers suck. They suck so bad. I do not like them. I do not want to do them. I told you at the start of this
That's true.
episode that this final round was going to put a shock to our system, and I wasn't lying. But for you theorists, we will all be braving the freezing cold water.
I don't want to do this one. I don't want to do this. I don't.
Hey, cold showers don't suck, but they kinda do. But if you're in a hot desert, the hottest desert...
The time is 11:59 p.m.
If you're in the hottest desert in the world, or any hot desert, cold showers come out good in the place that you like, no care. No, wait. Cold showers are probably what you want. No care. But if you're in Antarctica, yeah, then you need cold showers. No. Very hot showers. Not that hot, but hot.
I want to do this one. I thought about it. I don't want to do this one, but on my hand to do this one.
Honestly, I'm hoping this is terrible. I hate to admit it, but I'm hoping that this goes poorly so I don't need to condition my hair with cold water.
Ahem. I said we're all going to brave the freezing cold water. Right?
That's true.
Okay. Are we ready, team? And wash.
No.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay, there it is. Oh, God.
I got my shorts wet. With cold water, nonetheless.
Oh, it's so cold.
Amy, I hate you. Wow. Why would you do this to me?
Okay, we did it.
Okay, I did it. Are you happy? Are you happy?
Now, why exactly are we putting ourselves through this nightmare of a shower? Because of our scales. No, I'm not talking about lizard people living in our shower drains or whatever. I'm talking about
Now I hate you, Amy. I'm just kidding.
your scalp. If you zoom in to a strand of hair, you'll see that the outer layer, aka the cuticle, is made up of tiny overlapping cells that look almost like scales. When exposed to hot water, those scales open up and allow the shampoo to get into all the nooks and crannies, making for a very thorough clean. So, why add in that dreaded cold water? Well, while the hot water opens those scales, the cold water makes them close. This supposedly helps keep your hair cleaner for longer, and it's meant to lock in the moisture of your conditioner more effectively than hot water. But does it? Well, I'm gonna let the results speak for themselves. Hello, and welcome to the end of the day hair, which is actually looking really nice. I'm just getting such nice, shiny curls. They look perfectly formed. They're hanging out. They're having a good time. Honestly, this is kind of the best result I've gotten throughout the whole day, which is upsetting because, again, I don't like cold showers. And the cold shower really helped lock in this kind of curl texture.
And I gotta say, I love
That's true.
my hair. It feels super smooth. It looks good. It's not too voluminous. It's not too poofy. It's basically exactly how I like it.
So that wasn't super fun, but my hair does feel really nice right now. This is probably the best it's felt so far. I know I just went ahead and brushed it again, but it's not tangly.
I am at a loss of words. This is already looking so much better. Yeah, my hair has never been wavy or something, but I see some waves here, which is fantastic.
In the end, nearly everyone rated the hot and cold method as their first choice for the best hair, except for 2.
Y'all, I'm not happy about this. I am not happy about this at all.
it's kind of okay. It's actually kind of more on par with just the shampoo. It's still kind of like frizzy. It's not as silky smooth as the 2-in-1 or the shampoo and conditioner separately.
Make a real 3D scene from your Insta360 video. Shoot, upload, and explore. It's that simple. Just one 3 to 5 minute capture with your Insta360, a bit of Splatica magic, and you've got a lifelike 3D scene ready to explore.
Or the shampoo and conditioner separately.
Once again, despite some voluminous successes, there was still a huge divide on these results. So, what of these methods should you take into your own hair care routine? Well, first off, some form of conditioner. Yeah, for all of you naysayers, conditioner, not a scam product. Even our shampoo stands couldn't save the shampoo only round from having the overall worst results of the episode. However, the amount of conditioner that you need is dependent on a lot of other factors. Depending on your hair's texture, dryness, and even length can play a huge part in what your hair needs to be its best self. You see, there are actually a dozen hair types, and even within those types are different sets of hair needs. We're gonna need to do a whole other episode on how to diagnose what your hair type actually is. Yet for today, we figured out that there are no super hard and fast rules for the best way to wash your hair. I mean, without testing your options, how will you ever know that cold water is actually your hair care savior? No, really, don't let those other two naysayers fool you. Everyone should give it a try at least once. All the other results were just that good. And you know what? You could actually help us do a future episode by trying this test yourself, then come back here and leave your findings in the comments. The more data we get, the more we can start chipping away at this hair care mystery. And remember, like snowflakes, every head of hair is different and unique. And now you have everything you need to start next year off on the right foot and make it the most beautiful one yet. But hey, that's just a theory, a style theory. Happy holidays! Coming up next on Style Theory. This morning routine went viral for being so extreme that no one could keep up.
Did I continue doing this routine? Of course I did. It's a ridiculous routine.
But while 4 a.m. push-ups and 6:30 a.m. saunas might not be for everyone, what is actually realistic
Well, that's true. Might not be for everyone. Okay.
and should you actually have a morning routine at all?
Okay, so if you like the reaction, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you want us to react next. This will be the end of the reaction. So, also hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload posts and go live on Dylan Bordeaux. Until next time, Dylan Bordeaux, and we are out.